Go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Senezal's Archivists. Last time our intrepid adventurers didn't get up to a whole lot because we started a little bit later than usual, but we backtracked a little bit and saw Nori and Tali's relationship, which is a unique one to say the least, and then did a little bit of fast forwarding to the present in which they questioned the corpse of whom they think to be Senezal. We ended off the session with them finishing their fifth and final question and are now sitting at the beginning of a brand new day, corpse freshly questioned, questions on their minds now as to what the hell to do with the information they got, and a city full of life to explore, I suppose.
We got no information.
You got some.
Absolutely
We got it.
nothing.
You got
We got
some.
information.
Keothi, as far as Keothi's concerned, we got Nada and she wants to chuck the pile of bones in the bin.
You can do that. You could also save them to ask more questions in up to 10 days.
Xylee is just still very annoyed.
Zalia and Keothi are probably in the corner muttering under their breath about how awful everything is right now.
I'm not sure how much damage a corpse has to take before it's no longer capable of being used with Speak with Dead. So maybe not a good idea to take out too much frustration on it.
I'm not damaging the corpse. I said I was going to punch Senezal if he's there when we go find him.
Oh, I see.
But that's it.
Did Guard make us breakfast?
He had already, I believe.
Oh, I know
before
he made
you guys
like
went down.
chili
He had
for
like
dinner.
it was like bacon and eggs basically. For
Oh,
breakfast.
yeah. I remember you
Well-
commenting that there wasn't a lot of vegetarian stuff.
Oh yeah, I gave somebody my bacon.
I think you split it between
He's
me and
adjusting to the
Keothi.
concept of vegetarians.
It's okay. I can always fend for myself, Guard. If you would like to keep cooking meat products, that's okay.
I simply don't know the nutritional needs of someone who is vegetarian and how to properly assess a
It's the
diet.
same as any other person, just with
Well,
meal restrictions. I'll try
yes,
and find
but-
you a book. But I wouldn't worry too hard about it. Because again, it's just me.
I will do my best.
Oh, okay.
So,
Is that noise
We
supposed to be happening?
well,
The ringing
so,
of bells?
Is someone at the door? I go check the
No.
door.
That is sound like
It's
bells
like
in
church
my
bells.
ears.
Oh, I didn't hear anything
hear some
specific.
music.
Oh,
If there was something, then it wasn't me.
Okay.
It's part of the background noise.
okay, sweet.
Crazy guys, I just heard the doorbell ring and there was no one there.
Did you check
thought
out
those
the
were
other
like-
door?
Worst.
I thought those were more like church bells, but maybe you heard something
I swear
else.
I just heard a ha
These Telodans, they wake up early.
Let me. I'm gonna
Werewolf.
start and stop the music real quick, just
Early to
because
rise.
Mhm.
some of you joined in after I'd already started it, so we're hearing things out of sync from one another.
Okay.
So maybe I didn't hear what you're talking about
Just
specifically.
hearing a lot of birds.
Sounded
some
like
music.
kind of like the thrumming sound, kind of. Which is why I was worried.
He's in a
No
flashback.
thumping sound. Jesus Christ.
It's
Okay.
okay.
That would be
You're
that would be
safe.
super bad.
No one can hurt you here.
because
We're
I
not
said
on a
I'm gonna
boat, We're
punch-
in a house.
It's because I
I'm
said I was
on a
gonna
boat,
punch him.
man.
Okay, so what's the plan? Are we still trying to leave in a week?
Yeah, I guess. I wanna see what money kind of proposition comes back for the scales if we can, and maybe try and get the bag of holding, and then let's get out of here. We gotta figure things out our own, I guess.
Yeah, I need to. Assuming Senezal is at the armory, or some version of Senezal is at the armory, I have a lot of questions I would like to ask.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
So, if we can kind of
It's a loud chicken.
farmers next door.
Why is Senezal's home right next to Telona's largest chicken coop?
You say it's still morning time?
Yes. Yeah, it's still early in the day. Probably like 9-ish. You have a whole day ahead of you.
Anything we want to do for the day? You guys interested in doing anything?
I mean, oh, go ahead.
I want to learn to play an instrument. I want to be able to play with my good blue boy while we're doing things.
I know how to
kinda
play
wanna
an
go and buy
instrument. I can teach you how to play. I think I'm proficient in a pan flute.
Well, I was thinking, why don't we go into Talona while we're doing nothing and see if there's like an instrument shop, and I could try and learn something from there.
Okay.
You guys do have, like, if you don't want to do like a what's the word I'm looking for, more granular day by day over the next week, you could like specify things that you just want to do over the week instead of like me doing 7 days worth of
Yeah.
what are you guys doing?
Ooh,
What are you guys
no,
doing? What are you guys doing?
Let's drag it out.
I would like to-
Entirely up to
I
you.
go sit down in the living room area.
I just want to put something else on the proficiency sheet, and I think learning an instrument to play with Remy will be a brilliant idea to keep everybody's spirits up before bed.
I think that's a great idea.
How
So,
long is
I don't-
it? Carry on, sorry. I'll ask after.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I don't know if you want to RP this or not, but we can totally go to the instrument shop and shop for instruments, and I can pick up a vegetarian book for Guard on the way.
That'd be cool.
Sounds like a plan.
How long does it take to make a spell scroll again there? A day?
Depends on the level of the spell.
Just like a level 1 mage armor scroll?
I believe a day.
Okay. In that case, I want to take 2 of the days to make 2 scrolls, and then I want to spend the rest of the 5 days looking over my special little book, seeing if I can find out more about it. Whether it's like in the
Did you
city
get any
or
more
looking at
writings?
it. Yeah,
Were there any more writings in there?
that's what I'm
Nope,
hoping to
no new
find
writings,
out.
unfortunately.
None? Oh my god, okay.
No congrats on the new
Though
house.
the writing that was in the book previously before you traveled back in time has been brought back into it. If you recall, when you first went back in
Yeah.
time, your book had gone empty.
Okay. And does it still have the writing that was put in while we were back in time as well? Is everything in it now?
Yes, everything is in it. Though the stuff that was in it only once you went back in time is now ahead of everything else.
Sweet. So yeah, I guess I'm
also-
gonna spend 5 of the
first.
days trying to find out more about it, maybe reading up and seeing if anybody else has had this, or if, like, asking people. But again, I don't mind not RPing that and just to speed things along if you'd rather.
Sorry, you want to RP what specifically?
No, I'm saying I don't mind RPing or not. But for along like the 5 days, 2 of them I want to make scrolls, and for the other 5 I just want to go and ask around to people who might know a little bit more about it. Maybe read up at a library
the
or
book
something.
specifically?
Yeah, just read up and see if there's anything that like has happened to anyone else in the past, like similar to this.
Go ahead and make me let's say investigation check.
Ooh, okay.
Firstly.
Come on, be a good
Well,
roll.
we'll say it's an investigation check with like a week's worth of work, so it's like your overall abilities over the week.
Okay.
Why am I scrolled all the way to the top? 17's pretty good. You deduce that Child of Zavich is pretty spot on in terms of like what obviously who you should talk to, right? Like probably somebody who knows something about Savage. You figure you might be able to learn a bit more if you go and read in the libraries of Cargone, just because he is the god of knowledge. If anywhere were to know things of other gods, it might be him.
Mm-hmm.
And in your exploring of the library, you read a little bit about a monastery not too far away from Talona, between Talona and Baskman even, that worships both Zavich and Andrash,
Okay.
which is where you may find people a bit more versed in all things Zavich.
Andrash is who again?
Andrash is the god of god of celebration, god of sports, god of hunt.
Yo, the fireworks make sense now.
Andrash Night until
It's a little bit out of the way for your journey to Mist's End, as it would require going a bit more north than the normally traveled roads.
Okay.
Possibly even a little bit of tracking through like actual wilderness, as there's not really a road that leads to it as far as you can tell.
Okay.
But you have a general idea of where it is. And they're typically regarded as very reclusive.
Okay.
Chairman, that's my microphone. Thank you.
Thought you were gonna blame the donkey noise
The
on
donkey
Chairman
on
then.
Chairman.
Yeah,
No,
I was like-
did you see him
donkey's name
swiping
is
at my
also Chairman.
fucking...
Yep. Chairman the donkey.
My microphone.
Me too. Swiping at my donkey. Wait.
Hello? Hello?
Hey.
I have some things I don't mind speeding through, not RPing, that I would like to do in the next.
Yeah.
If
You should
Zil-
definitely
Zali
RP
is
the
finished.
thing though. Yeah, I'm done. I think. Right? Is that all I got?
Yeah, that's all you get in your week's investigation. There's nothing specifically in the temple itself about Zavich himself, apart from, the base ideology of what Zavich is.
Yeah.
But nothing specifically to do with, like, a child is Zavich. I would mention, too, that you definitely read up a little bit on, like, the astronomy of Kier. Which tells you, there is the moon Zavich up in the sky, which is typically referred to as like the dark moon. As even on like the brightest lit night, you can barely see the moon in the sky apart from like a simple halo of light around it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Not Nori, but Remy, you had something you wanted to
Yes, I
either
am not
burn
Nori,
through or...
I am Remy.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to, at some point, go see if I can track down Ardbert and see how he's doing.
Right. Sure. Yeah, so you can attempt to find Ardbert. Go ahead and also make me similarly an investigation check
Okay.
as your initial check back at the House of Chandi. He's no longer there.
Natural 20.
That's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good.
I won.
You eventually you go to the House of Chandi to see if he's still there. He's not, though one of the sisters there tells you that he didn't fully recover. He won't be walking again anytime soon, but they set him on his way with a wheeled chair. And he's been performing in the is it the Lusty Minnow? I think it's the Lusty Minnow.
Yeah, it is.
Down by the harbor.
Name.
Apparently still able to make some coin just as a performance.
He's not in the Golden Bow anymore, I guess.
No.
He's retired.
Unfortunately, the Golden Bow, being a mercenary company, needs people who are a bit more mobile.
Well, I'm gonna, when I see him, I'm gonna have a little chat with him, and I'm gonna give him like 10 gold for his trouble. Help him a little bit.
He appreciates that and invites you to stay for a set for the night and then enjoy some nice music. Maybe not the nicest atmosphere.
What instrument does he play? I'm asking
plays-
for research purposes because I'm supposed to go instrument shopping with a
He
friend.
plays a variety of instruments, though while he's playing there, he plays the lyre, which isn't necessarily hugely appreciated by a lot of the patrons, as they're a bit more rough and tumble.
The holy liar.
Then
What? I said this wasn't going to be an RP thing. Here I am having conversations with Ardbert. I would like to ask him for advice on what kind of instrument he would recommend for somebody who is brand new to music and is also very large. So like a piccolo is not going to work.
Imagine
for the very basics. I don't even remember Arbert's voice anymore, honestly. For the very basics, I would recommend something like maybe a war drum. Very large, simple.
I think would love a ward.
All about hitting it as hard as you can. It's very. It
sounds
doesn't
so
necessarily
on
make the
brand for her.
nicest. Doesn't sound like the nicest music. Obviously, it's a war drum. It's meant to pump somebody up for battle specifically. But of course, it's simple to learn, and in terms of like learning how to work with a tempo, there's no better instrument.
You're a genius, Ardbert. Okay.
Well,
After that, I'm going to. The only other thing I think I would like to do is I'm gonna summon a steed.
okay.
In the stables.
Okay. And what is this steed?
So I think I'm gonna go with a war, because you mentioned
war
it would
horse.
be like a white horse.
Yes.
So I'm gonna summon a beautiful white celestial war horse. And it's got an instinctive bond with me that so
allows
I
you
can
to communicate with it. From
fight with it. We create a long-lasting bond. It's intelligent, strong, and loyal. I can dismiss it at any time. Blah 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 blah. It's a beautiful white celestial warhorse that has been gifted to me from Godmoms.
You got a pony. They love you.
All right, let me give you a warhorse then. For you to control. It's not how you spell horse. That's warhouse.
They have sent me another house.
Does it look
Well,
like
that's
a
one of them
normal
too.
horse, or is it like glowy?
It's a very beautiful horse, but it is not glowy in nature. It is like a pristinely
is
white though,
amazing.
like almost supernaturally clean at all times.
So is it kind of like how Gandalf the White looks compared to Gandalf the Grey?
Yes,
Okay, sweet.
still looks pretty like mortal, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day,
Like everyone knows it's more badass than the rest, but they just don't know why.
yes.
Okay.
There we go.
He's the biggest horse.
Oh, he's a large creature. He's a lot bigger than you guys.
You just
This
hear
is
like
terrifying.
you just hear screaming from the stage.
So, the warhorse is here in Tolona specifically, which is where you would probably have gotten one. These are like
And it's
the.
destroying all the houses.
I mean,
Oh
It's
God, I'm
just
summoning a
hilarious
kaiju.
because it does look bigger than the houses.
It's like Clifford the Big Red Dog, except it's gonna be.
And then you're just, and you're a fucking tiny little blue boy on top of this massive stallion.
What did you name
Can
it?
I
You wear
like?
your
Do,
helmet.
do they make like car seats for World
I know,
War
right? Like, I'm
II?
gonna have to go buy a ladder to like. Get out.
Does it have a name?
No, Quixote just picks up Remy and puts
it doesn't
him on
have a
his
name
horse.
itself. It's up to Remy if he wants to name it.
The big white steed.
Gifford the big
Gifford?
Different.
Here in the southern flatlands of Kier, the horses down here are generally much larger, so this is like probably akin to like a Budweiser horse.
Ooh,
I don't know
Easily
what
like
that means. I'm gonna.
at shoulder height,
Drunk as
like
fuck.
yeah.
I think they're about like
They're
8
like a
feet tall at
They're
shoulder height.
a
Wow.
Clydesdale. A
Yes.
Clydesdale.
Holy crap, you're big. Okay.
Like the kind of horse that has like kind of the bushy hooves and
Yeah,
everything.
Clydesdale.
Yeah.
Clydesdale horse.
Yeah, he's beautiful. Or she's beautiful. I'm not sure. I don't want to assume my horse's gender. I'm gonna name the
I
horse.
think you choose that when you choose the fine steed. Like a lot of these variables are up to you.
I was just like, I'm just gonna summon a horse. Well, we'll say it's a boy war horse,
Baby.
and we'll
Boy
say, Remy's looking at it and he sees like it's big and white and like the heads of horses kind of like do that, and it reminds him of a snowdrop flower. So he's gonna name the horse Snowdrop.
Hell yes. I love it.
Fitting.
Oh.
If
It'll
you
go
are
really
interested in like kitting out the horse, you can also do so while you're in town. There's
Yes.
Pimp your ride.
That was gonna be my other thing, so I'm going to get horse equipment.
Excuse me.
So I guess I need do I need like a saddle for this? I mean, I know I need a saddle. Does it come with a saddle?
I'm that's what I'm looking for right now.
Snowdrop, are you like decked out, or do I need to go get you some?
I wish you would have chosen the camel. No, I'm kidding.
It doesn't appear like
The
it comes
camel
with any
steed.
sort of equipment, so you can buy a ton of equipment for it. You'll need a saddle for sure. You'll need a bit. What is it?
Bridle.
Hold on. Bridle.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's a whole handout for it.
I will buy all the things that I need for the horse.
Also a hat.
Of course.
Well,
Nice big,
I've
a nice
got-
big hat.
So
I've
a bit and brittle, at least a regular or a riding saddle. You could get a military saddle, which is a bit more, a bit better at keeping you in it if you take a solid hit. Saddlebags, if you're interested. You'll definitely need food.
Don't forget to get your Gishel greens.
He has to eat too.
Gishel greens. Yeah, he has to eat. He's still a living being.
Well, I don't know.
Familiars we typically write off as not needing to eat because they're so much smaller that they could probably just eat like anything.
The celestial horse needs to eat. He's gonna eat. So, yeah, I'm gonna buy. How much
It's
is
5
the
copper a day of feed,
Okay,
so not too expensive.
that's not bad. How much is a military saddle?
Military saddle is 20 gold pieces.
Just get that.
We're rich now.
All right,
I'm
so
rich, bitch.
I'm gonna get the military saddle. I'm gonna get the other stuff. The bridle. That's.
Yep.
And I'll get it.
You can also get
Cowboy
barding.
and some cowboy boots.
Some cowboy boots. But yeah, barding is typically an expenditure you want on like a war horse because it gives it an increase to AC. It is expensive though.
Okay, how expensive we talking?
So any set of barding is always 4 times the cost of any armor that's normally made for humanoids.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
And
not
obviously
rich
you need to be able to
anymore.
buy armor that makes sense. Like you can't really buy full plate for a horse. It's simply
That
you
makes
simply
sense.
can't encase a horse in full plate
What
armor.
do you mean?
Also, how
Okay.
would that even work with a summonable celestial thing? What, like,
What do you mean?
well, like, I assume if it dies, it doesn't leave a corpse. It just like apparates back.
If it
whatever.
hits 0 hit points, it just disappears.
It disappears, and if I have the spell prepared in the spell slot, I can just resummon it.
Yeah.
But like, would the armor disappear with it?
No.
I imagine it'll just fall to the
Doesn't.
floor.
Yeah, it's sort of just.
How much is just like basic horse armor?
So if you just want some like basic leather armor, which if I look at Warhorse,
Can just anybody fit the armor as well? Is my point.
she would have to go to like a
I have to go get it like refitted at a armor person, right?
farmer person, probably a leather worker, honestly, at worst. If it's leather armor, you could go with like half plate armor as well, which is obviously a ton more expensive.
I don't
but
think I may not be taking Snowdrop into battle just yet, but I mean, God Mom Horse deserves some leather armor.
It's also worth noting too that any spell that only targets yourself also targets your horse, so long as you're riding it.
Yeah.
So padded leather armor, which is sort of like the shittiest armor possible, is 5 gold pieces normally, so 4 times that, 20 gold pieces. It's not bad. And would raise its AC by 1, but give it disadvantage on stealth checks. But that's no problem for you.
I mean, that's not our realm.
Yeah.
But would that give me, like, if I'm on the horse, is it still just a straight disadvantage, or is it like...
Yeah, it's disadvantage for both you and the horse. The horse needs to make its own rolls.
Okay, right.
Right. Or snowdrop, as they've come to be known.
All right, we'll get padded leather armor for Snowdrop.
Okay.
And, I guess 2 weeks worth of food?
Also a good idea. I don't think there's a way for you to dismiss your steed and then have it, like, teleport the same way other familiars work, though. So...
I can dismiss it, anytime as an action.
Oh, okay.
And then if I cast anytime I
Oh,
cast
you have to
the spell
recast the spell,
to
though.
summon it,
Okay. Okay, that's not terrible.
it gets restored to its hit point maximum. But yeah, I can dismiss it at any time, but in order for it to reappear, I need to resummon it.
Yes.
Oh, it looks like, is it any spell that she gets that Remy gets attacked with or did you mean, because while it says...
Any spell she casts, or any spell that Remy casts.
With the horse.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a great spell.
So wait,
it's a great horse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But anything like, I don't know, Zephyr Strike, for instance, it would increase our horse's speed as well.
Hell yeah.
Fog.
Get it.
Or Long Strider, I guess, if you wanted to go with that. But nobody uses Long Strider because it's a shit spell.
Okay, and other than that, if that's like all the... I don't think I need a saddlebag. If we're gonna get like a back holding. I'm gonna take some of the seashells that I have and some of the flowers that I have, and I'm gonna braid his hair and put the flowers all in it, and he's just gonna be the most beautiful, gigantic horse.
He patiently lets you braid all of his hair and is very...
Does he
You
like
sense
it?
he's
I'll ask
probably
him.
pleased with the result. He can't speak.
But I can communicate telepathically with it, and I can speak to animals.
Is it classed as an animal?
If your steed has an intelligence of 5 or less, its intelligence becomes 6. Oh, okay. It can understand one language of your choice that you speak.
Ooh, Pog.
It can't speak back to you, though. You could use speak
They
with
can-
animals if you wanted to.
But they can also communicate with each other telepathically.
Yeah, while your steed is within 1 mile of you, you can communicate with each other telepathically.
Get your horse voice on, Dea.
Still doesn't
Snowdrop
say that
up,
it can
friend.
actually speak, though.
No, but
Well, no,
telepathically.
but it can speak to me in my mind.
I see.
But it can't speak to Nori.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Big bummer. Time to learn to speak with animals.
rather-
I am
Time for
actually
Dea to come up with a
learning to
voice
speak with
for it.
animals. So
True. Yeah, you're picking that up from
Kimeth.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Jesus, my brain.
From Davey, no.
From Davey. All right, so he does enjoy them quite a lot.
All right,
What's
the
that
goal
Snowdrop
total?
sound like?
Yeah, what does he say there? How does he say it?
He doesn't have a voice as much because he doesn't speak a language, but she has like the general impressions from him that he enjoys them.
He goes, yes. I quite like this.
Damn it.
A few
You have
days
a
into
super
your
deep bassy voice, like the deepest horse voice ever.
oh yes, I do love
Oh
these.
my gosh.
Oh, God.
A few days into your
When you brush my coat, mother.
He talks like a little bit. It's like Eeyore too. Maybe draw it out a little. Remy's
this
no.
is
I'm a
quite
little concerned.
pleasing.
Fuck's sake.
Oh my.
No, he sounds like miracles in sunlight.
He sounds like George Takei.
Oh.
Do you want to give him my tiara? My 25 tiara? I'm sure it'll go spiffing on him.
Beautiful.
A few days into your stay, you guys wake up one morning and find that there's 8 additional horses in your stable.
Oh.
All just riding horses.
Wait, 8?
Yes, 8. So 9 horses total with Snowdrop.
Some farmer is missing a lot of horses.
The question is, which one of us is proficient in animal handling?
I think, if anyone, that'd be Corb, right?
They do all come with a saddle already on them.
Yo, Tolly, hook it fucking up, fam.
All the saddles appear to have been used, so they're definitely not brand new in any sense. And a small piece of paper is nailed to the side of the stable, and simply reads, "That'll be 80 gold."
I just sensed like the old MMO thing. Corb's face appears and it's just, Remy will remember this.
No.
Remy doesn't know that they were stolen. Plus, it
It's
seems
kind of
like we owe them
obvious,
80
so-
gold, so...
Clearly a payment went through, right?
Why are there 8?
Yeah, that's a lot of horses.
Tolly's very
Yeah, Dory.
generous with her gifts.
But we don't
Well,
need 8.
I don't know if it's
But
a
not
gift. We do owe her 80 gold.
Well, yeah, but that's like, super
80
friends
gold
and
for
family
8
discount.
horses.
Yeah, is insane.
Well, I mean, 8 horses for 80 gold.
One riding horse typically goes for like 75 gold. This is a killer
mean,
discount.
She
Something
definitely
feels-
hooked you up.
We're best friends.
8's a little excessive, but...
Tolly likes to do everything in excess. It's just kind of her spiel.
Okay, well,
'Cause-
as long as... we
When
get
it
the
comes
gold
to me, it's like a special, Yeah, I plan on seeing her this week. I gotta
Just-
ask her about some other stuff, so.
Just to like avoid any accidental out of character stuff, could I do an insight check on Nora to see she's been truthful about this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you guys never asked anything about. The only thing you guys asked me about was like, why are we have 8 horses? And I'm just saying, Tolly's very generous.
No,
That's
but you
truthful.
told us
but that's
beforehand that
technically,
you were buying the
well,
horses.
it's not necessarily a
not-
lie. It's sort of a lie of omission.
Yeah. You told us before this as well that they weren't going to be stolen, right?
No, I didn't say anything about any. I just said that I was
No?
gonna go talk to a friend. Yeah, I told you guys I was gonna talk to a friend who could
Yeah.
hook us up.
This is the first you've heard of getting horses.
Yeah.
Oh.
Boop.
Okay. Well,
Either way,
for fun.
yeah. If you wanna.
I don't know shit.
Polly must be very generous.
That was close, actually. Shit.
Polly must be very, very generous indeed.
Well, it makes sense since she did buy the dagger. What a
Yeah,
good friend.
Do you
I
know?
mean, maybe it's because she got like a bulk discount, right? Like, well, if I buy 8 horses, I get 8 horses for the price of 5. Maybe that's how it works here in Kelowna. I know, like, some places.
Probably closer to 8 horses for the price
For the
of
price
one.
of one.
Remy doesn't know he's from the bottom of the ocean.
That's Kenneth saying that. That's
And Remy says as he continues to brush his hair with a fork.
Oh.
The big
Oh,
curly is
no.
just like a pig.
What are you going to say,
His
Dave?
little white fro.
It'll be okay, my little merman.
You were saying,
Well,
do
we could
we
always-
know something?
I don't
Oh.
know. Yeah, I don't remember saying anything.
cool.
Or being about to say anything.
That is what I said about the knife. I was like, super generous friend. Makes sense if she did buy the knife.
Do you know about the note that Tali left Nori saying how much more she spent on it
On the
than
knife?
she needed to? Yeah.
I don't think so.
We
Okay.
don't know
Bumped it
about
up.
that.
She bumped it up because she thought that you and I were an item.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but still, it was super generous for her to buy it in the first place, is what I meant.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of which, of buying items and whatnot. Or actually, first, Keothi, did you have anything that you wanted to do? You said you wanted to learn an instrument, right? The war drum?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go with drums, but I didn't know that until
Or drums.
until
Right.
we go. So yeah, let's.
We
get
RP
me
in this
drums.
out, or we not?
Do it.
It's up to you.
It'd be great, RP.
Shall we?
Fuck it, let's. I knock on Keothi's door.
Hello.
Hey, today's the day. We're going instrument shopping. I got the best advice from a friend who is really good at music.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's go. I have no
Alright.
idea where there's a music shop in Tolona, so I am just
Absolutely
down
none.
the street looking.
Please continue Muppet walking too, right? Like
Oh, yeah, it's we're having a great time.
Real black.
Yes, so you take a walk through the Tolona markets. Why don't you both go ahead and make me perception checks as you're kind of looking around, going on a shopping spree.
Of course, this is the stuff I roll. We find.
The two of you spot at the exact same time. You can see through a window. You could clearly see instruments sort of lined up on a shelf. I'm tempted to call it Davies, just because my
Davies
brain's
Dukes,
going there.
let's
Davies
Davies
dudes.
dude.
Davies fucking dudes. Let's do it.
Davey, really popular name here.
It is. It's actually a Tolonan saint from long ago.
Davy,
Saint
no.
Anyways, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna blow a blood vessel laughing at this shit. Anyways, so you head on in, and inside it's not huge by any stretch of the imagination. There's not a huge amount of selection either, as far as you can tell. Things seem like they're more kind of made on request by the looks of it. And sort of walking around, currently in the middle of sweeping, you could see a rather squat-looking dwarf with long red hair, currently sweeping and sort of muttering to himself. Doesn't hear you come in.
Hello.
Like startles up a little bit. Oh, customers. Puts the broom to the side. What can I help you with?
Well, my friend is looking to get into music, and we're gonna look at some instruments. And maybe
Excellent.
are there like learning books or
No. God damn
do you
it,
know a
Keothi.
place where we can buy learning books or
I suppose there might be some at the library. You wouldn't be able to necessarily buy them. That's not typically how it works, but you could transcribe sheet music, I guess, if you're interested in such things.
well, I mean if you want, Keothi, I can't even read music. I just learned.
I don't think we need to really read to be able to play things, right?
No, you're right. You're right. She's right. We don't need books. We just need an instrument. We will learn by feel.
Did you have an instrument in mind?
Keothi, did you have an instrument in mind?
I don't know. You said you spoke to
Yeah,
someone who
I have
knows
a
music.
friend. He's a bard type.
Right.
I told him that you were a beginner, and and he said you might like a war drum or like a type of drum.
I have those.
Ooh.
I have those.
Can I try?
Um,
Can I try a drum? I want to
just-
see what it sounds like.
Yes, just madam, you are quite well strong by the looks of you. So I ask that you take it just a little easy on it, since it is maybe not delicate, but still, it's an instrument. It doesn't take. I suppose it does take a pounding. It is a drum, but
So
you understand what I'm trying to say?
Use my inside hands.
Yes, that is a that is a good.
I love that. That's a great saying.
I was trying to keep a straight face.
So I have two sort of not concepts, but types of war drum, and he'll like go to the back a little bit, and you hear him rustling things up before coming out. And there's like one that's sort of like a large, not belly drum, but basically it like hangs out in front of your torso and has straps that go on over your torso to kind of hold it in place. This is a more traditional Valian war drum, one that the soldiers use as they march to battle. It's typically played with both hands with alternating hits, whereas I also have this one, and he kind of pulls a much smaller one that would fit just underneath one arm that you would probably hit with a hand. This one is an Orcish Wardrobe, taken in a raid at some point long ago before I bought it off whoever sold it to me. This one is played simply with one hand and is not as loud, but is typically meant to be played by multiple people at once, and is used mostly on Orcish warships to beat out the beat of a row. Either of them strike your fancy?
I want to try the big drum.
Big drum it is, and he'll kind of like pick it up, turn it towards you, and show you how to like put the straps on and everything, so it's like hanging off of you.
Okay.
And he'll hand you two drumsticks.
You look like you're part of a marching band.
Except it's not like vertical. It's like a big sort of horizontal drum in front of her.
Let's see how this goes then.
Go ahead and make me a performance check.
Oh god. Another 20, come on.
Okay, follow that with a strength check.
Oh no. 0.
She used her inside hand. Oh, that's a save.
It's a save, but if I subtract 3 from that, it's still pretty strong. Yeah, no need. Jesus Christ.
Boom.
Nori, actually, you know what? Both of you make me a Constitution save.
Remy and Keothi, Nori's not there.
Yeah, sorry, Remy. Jesus.
Constitution save?
The E's at the end of everybody's name.
Nori and Remy have now merged into one.
My
Remy's
eardrums
nose
are
is
now
bleeding now.
So
Now I roll lower
Keothi,
than a 15.
you're fine apart from feeling just like a little bit like it definitely felt a little spine shattering at first to hear that much noise in such a condensed space. Remy, on the other hand, is like fighting to stay on his feet as this barrage of noise is like shoving him onto his knees. Davey, on the other hand, has just like fallen over and is like clutching at his ears like ah.
That's a loud drum. That's a loud drum, and I help.
To you, Keothi, though, it was splendid music apart from the fact that it was quite loud, although maybe that's what you're into.
Is it, like, out of character, it's a wardrobe, right? It's meant to be that loud? That's a good thing that happened?
Oh,
okay.
yes. Yeah. It's meant to carry over, like, an entire army's line.
I guess you just
to
didn't
be
expect...
heard way up.
You didn't expect Keothi to be that good at it straight away.
Also, for her to, like, slam it that hard.
You just hear, like, a...
You could hear, now that your eardrums are starting to like readjust to normal volumes again, you could hear people outside like fucking yelling. What the hell was that?
You know,
Maybe this drum isn't an inside drum.
yeah,
I don't think it is.
do we have any like personal small? Can we make a personal smaller drum?
I can make something smaller, yes. There is the orc drum as well. that is both smaller and far more portable, and definitely not as deafening.
I look up at
Community.
and I say with my mouth, "You can buy whatever drum you want," but my eyes say, "Please
Say
try
please.
the orc drum."
Keothi, go ahead and make me an insight check to see what Remy's really saying.
To look
Please
into
be
Remy's
0.
special eyes.
She
Damn,
gets
the
it.
rolls
girl,
today.
your rolls
Yeah.
have been, jeez.
We are popping off at the instrument shop.
I know, never when I need it though, but let's go and get instruments. Let's keep it up. I don't want to disappoint my blue boy, so I'm like, okay, I'll try the other drum then.
Okay. So you pick up the other drum, and while the shop owner himself was able to carry it under one arm, it was still like this. Like he wouldn't have been able to actually carry it like this. You, on the other hand, are more than capable of like carrying it normally, but it is definitely made for somebody your size. So it's even for Remy, like this is still a big drum.
I'm a small boy.
But it otherwise feels very comfortable. And if you want to give it an experimental slap, go ahead and make me a performance check.
I brace myself this time, and I also
Jesus.
I'm gonna like stand behind.
This
I'm
one,
staying behind Davey Doot so he doesn't fall over.
this one doesn't quite slap as loud as the other one did, so there will be no strength check. Thankfully, it is still intensely loud for an enclosed space. But the sound that you're making is not necessarily like pleasant, I suppose, because it is still just a drum. But it's definitely like you're getting a good beat off on this. It's like, oh yeah, I could dance to this maybe.
I lean down to Davy Doot, and I'm just like, she's really good at it. I mean, she's really good at it.
She's clearly a natural. I mean, almost don't even like, you're talking about buying books to learn. I mean, most people learn from like a mentor. I don't think there's too
I
many
don't think
books
she
on.
needs it.
I don't think so. I think she's got this. Just try at it a few times a day, and she'll eventually come out a learned drummer.
You sounded great, Keothi.
Do you like this one?
This one was better than the last one, I think. It wasn't as earth-shatteringly loud.
Do you think we could make some fun tunes to make everybody smile on the way to go into the other place?
Yeah, I mean, I've got my pan flute. Maybe I can learn an instrument.
Let's
You also
do
have
it.
the kazoo.
I want this drum, mister.
I think Remy forgets that Remy has a kazoo.
Yeah, I have a kazoo and I have a pan flute, but like, what if
A
I learn
magic
something
kazoo.
new as well? I'm inspired by Keothi's war drums.
There's
Should I buy an
lutes,
instrument?
There's lyres, there's everything.
What should I try? What?
There was people in my old tribe that played horns. I'm assuming.
Imagine Remy with the drum.
Horns and drums would have been fairly commonplace too for the
Like
Goliath
the massive
tribe.
ones.
Yes, definitely. Those were typically less used for like actual musical purposes and more for like
Rallying the
communication over
troops.
long distances.
Yeah, but to Keothi, it made a sound. It was music. She's telling Remy.
Yep.
Okay? Right.
The drums that Goliaths use are definitely more of the musical type. Neither of these kind of fit the profile. The ones that you typically would use would be like sitting drums. But yeah, it's not like drums are an alien concept to you or your people.
Well, I like this one. I think you should totally do it, Remy.
Okay. A horn, you said?
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I'm sure that there's other ones.
Well,
I don't have. Oh, I suppose I have some horns. To go along with a drum, though. I mean, it's up to you
I've
how you want to
already
make it
got a
sound.
flute, right? And I've already got this thing. And that's kind of like, maybe we'll try something different. You know, Arbert was playing the lyre, correct?
Yes.
And it sounded really good. I mean, sir, do you think I can play a stringed instrument and hold up my webbed finger?
You might have some difficulties with a lyre, and you might find the delicate webbing between your fingers at times not only a bit of a detriment, but also very sensitive to getting it caught on a string. But it's not impossible. Everybody learns.
What other instruments could these hands play?
Could I recommend specifically?
Yeah, I'm just down to learn something new.
What about a pan flute or a kazoo?
I don't know what a kazoo is.
Oh, it's this thing. What?
Very rare.
He like looks at it. He's like, huh. Okay.
It's really cool.
Fascinating.
It doesn't. It's made out of this silver, but it's kind of like magic. It doesn't rust, and it can even be played like underwater and stuff. It's cool.
Interesting.
I don't play it too much though, because it's kind of it's important to me.
It's definitely unique. I've never seen anything quite as like before. Oh, I'm having a real rough time finding a list of instruments too. This is... I don't know why this is so
Struggle.
painful.
Maybe
Fine.
Dude's supposed to be an expert. Why don't you have every list of every possible thing that we could possibly conceive up at all times?
Yep, super
I'm
disappointed.
trying.
Yourself a DM.
How could you not have predicted that I would need all of the horse items and all of the musical instrument items?
How would you have predicted that of all people, Keothi decided that it's music time? And she takes the best person for the job with her.
I like to imagine Keothi is like the last gift that I posted in OOC chat and is now going to use the wardrobe as a weapon.
My biggest problem is that I don't know what some of these actually like even look like. I have no idea what a shawm is.
It's okay, I had to Google one on the list earlier, don't worry about it.
A shawm is
What
like
It's like a big,
a horn,
fluty, horny
sort of
looking thing.
Fluty,
Big
horny
fluty,
look.
a big fluty
Well, it's like
horny
it's a
thing.
flute that like opens into like a
Yeah.
what's it called? Into a horn. I
Flares
guess.
out into a bell. A
It
horn
flares
bell.
up. Yeah, there you go.
The bell of a horn.
The closest I could think of in terms of like an instrument I know would be like a bass clarinet.
Well, if you're looking for something that might go along with drums that is equally as loud, I have bagpipes.
Did I change my mind?
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Keothi's changing it like a throwback.
What, pray
Really something you
tell,
just pick
is
up.
a bagpipe?
Well, so it's so it's I believe the out of character. I'm pretty sure it's the stomach of something.
Sheep or something,
Is
or
it-
a cow?
I think it's like a
Yeah.
sheep stomach. It's a sheep stomach that has numerous wooden rods inserted into it to give sound as you expel air from this inflated bag. Would you like to see one?
Count Caruso.
Well, I mean, it's obviously decorated in a way that it doesn't look like what it sounds like.
Thanks, I hate it.
I mean, Keothi, you sounded really interested in the bagpipes. Do you want to see the bagpipes? I'm a little
Yeah.
interested in how it works. Can we see the bagpipe?
Yeah.
Okay. He'll go in the back again, and you hear like a clattering around, followed by a weep, and he's like, "Oh God!" He comes out, and there's just
We are
there's-
about to make the most obnoxious musical tune.
Fucking hell.
and he comes out to the front with this as he said, like it's a what is it, like 6 or 7, I think, wooden pipe sticking out the top of the bag. Anyways, not super important for the time being. And yeah, he'll put it up on the counter, and it's like this, as he said, it's a set of bagpipes, though it doesn't look like it's made from a stomach. It's got like a shaggy, what you think is probably like either a goat or maybe even maybe a dog pelt over it. So it's just like this hairy, sort of deflated bag with wooden pipes sticking out of it, as well as an air input.
Instrument.
And he sort of like holds it up, and he's like, "Would you like to try blowing into it?" You sort of hold the bag under one arm, blow into it from this pipe here, and then there's the pipes here where you can sort of change the notes that come out.
Okay. I'll try.
All right. So we'll hand it over to you. Let you kind of fiddle with it if you want to make me a performance check.
Proficient performance. Bad roll.
Not a great roll, unfortunately. I mean, so I personally kind of enjoy bagpipes, but I recognize that it could be
It's a little
obnoxious.
It's really well.
And also loud. Very loud.
It's loud. It's also like really awkward. Like I've got all this armor and it's like in there, and also like I'm not gonna lie, the stomach thing kind of freaks me out.
You just don't think of it as a stomach. It's just a bag.
I mean,
It isn't a stomach. If you read in OOC chat, I put what it's actually made out of.
Oh, skins, not stomach. It's just animal skin.
well, that makes it less.
You're welcome! I think you were getting confused with what old footballs were made out of. They were like pigs' bladders and stuff.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, freaking no. I know a lot of random facts. Bagpipes are not something that I've put a whole lot of interest
Oddly enough, bagpipes not one of them.
in. No.
Oddly enough, I happen to remember it wasn't stomachs, but couldn't remember what it was.
Ah.
Oddly enough, just gonna keep saying that phrase the whole time we're playing this game.
Oddly enough, I agree.
I don't know. Kyoto, do you think I should? How much does this is like a pretty complex sort of contraption? How much does a bagpipe cost, Mr. Dude?
About 30 gold pieces.
That's
Also,
not bad.
my last name's not Doot. It's
What is it? Is it
I'm sorry.
Davison?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You could just call me Davey.
Okay.
The Doots are what I sell. They're sort of
I see.
referencing the sounds that are made. The sound you just produced from that bagpipe is what I would call a Doot.
The sound you just produced.
You're banned. You're out.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
leaving.
Kyoto,
I'm banning you from Canada.
Oh no.
Kyoto, you've got a really loud instrument. I've got a really loud instrument. Do you think it's maybe too much? Do you think I should try for something?
Why don't you have a go at another instrument and then see how you feel about which one you prefer? That
Okay.
would work.
Okay.
Non-stringed instruments. I also have pan flute, horn, the shawm. If you're interested in any of these, I don't have a whole lot else, unfortunately. I have more drums, but I feel like the bigger drum might be a bit harder for you to use.
Maybe. So there's what? I already have a pan flute. The shawm.
Yes.
Said? Okay. Fuck it. I'll try the shawm.
All right, he'll go ahead and grab you a shawm, which is, as I said, it's like a long sort of, almost like a recorder with a larger bell at the end.
Okay.
right.
Deep
Performance check. Jesus. You would classify that as a doot.
It's a dude.
It's a doot. And subsequent notes don't sound much more duty than that doot. And he's
Just
like,
one note, did he?
he's like, well, you have the right idea. Obviously, experimentation and experience will help teach you. It's certainly not as intuitive as a drum.
Right. But it's a little bit more familiar to me because of
Well, it seems very similar to your
the band.
metal instrument. Also that.
Well, I mean, not really, but like, yeah, you know what? This is also a lot smaller and Quixote, should I get the shawm or should I get the bagpipe?
Which one do you like the most?
I feel a bit more confident with the shawm.
Well, then why don't we do that one?
Okay.
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 All
We'll
right.
just have to practice together a lot.
Yeah, we'll have some jam session.
And before
While
these
the others are
instruments
doing
cost like
whatever they're doing.
20,000 gold.
The bagpipe is
Oh,
only
I-
30 gold, so the shawm, unless it's made out of like
I also have a few other, maybe a bit more exotic instruments, if you're interested. Which I've just come across as I open another resource for D&D.
Try it.
the exotic weapon.
Well, first and foremost, we have the war gong.
A what?
The war
Gong.
Gong.
Gong. Gong. War
Gong.
gong.
Watch out for those war dongs. They're brutal.
That's
Jesus.
something you don't want Quixote throwing.
No.
Please
It's,
no throw the war dong.
it's certainly more of a warning bell than an actual instrument, though it can be played by those who learn to actually create different tones with it. And he takes out what's basically just like it's a gong on a wooden pole sort of hanging, as well as like a sort of
But
cloth at the end of a stick that you can slap.
I was thinking maybe something more like musically inclined.
Right.
That would go nicely with the drum, maybe.
So the elves have here, I'll just take it out. And it's he takes out what's basically like a long wooden pole with a bunch of hanging bells that seem to be carved not out of wood or made with metal, but seem to be made out of, you think maybe bone or some kind of stone, you're not sure. And he has like a small little wooden hammer, and as he's kind of like tapping along them, it's sort of like a not xylophone, but what's the word I'm looking for? Handbell sort of sound.
That looks
Cowbell?
cool.
Handbell, not cowbell.
It sounds really cool too. You can make like different notes.
Yes, well, that is generally the idea.
Different dudes.
Different dudes.
Different sounds. Definitely a bit more exotic than any of the other instruments I have, as the elves are the only ones who really know how to make them properly. And they tend not to share with outsiders too much.
Question, DM, have I seen one of these before since I lived with elves for a long time?
No.
Okay.
Not, you've never seen it amongst wood elves. Wood elves would definitely been more like pan flutes and woodwinds. Maybe even a bagpipe before, but probably not in your.
Imagine in the middle of the snow-ridden mountains.
I mean, that's where they're from.
Avalanche.
This one looks super cool. Can I try it? I'm like a kid in a store.
This one is unfortunately not something I'm willing to simply let customers try. It is rather delicate and costly.
That's okay. Costly as in
50 gold.
expensive.
I've managed to procure 2 since I've opened shop.
Is it particularly brittle, or?
No, it just needs to be handled with care. You can't smash the bells the way one might a drum.
Right. That makes sense.
Looks
I
at
feel like you're
Keothi.
looking at me right now.
Keothi.
I don't want to touch that.
And it sounds like bells.
Yes, yeah.
I like the sound that one made.
I like it too.
It could be a little bit drowned out by louder noises.
Again,
But-
I feel like you're looking at me.
I'm just pointing out, if you are trying to buy instruments that complement one another, it may not be.
Oh, well. I mean, I should ask you first if you would want to do duos, or if you want to shine on your own with your drums, Keothi.
I
don't-
wanted to play with you.
Okay, well then we can't buy the bells.
The last one I can think of is, I think I might have one. And he'll go back and come back out, and it's it kind of looks like a walking stick of sorts, except you can tell that it's hollowed out, and it does still have like sort of notes towards the top of it, or not notes, but holes towards the top of it. And no.
Clarinet.
No, and as he'll like place his fingers over parts of the top of the cane and then just start whipping it over his head, and it makes like a loud whistling sound in different notes as he moves his fingers along it.
Yo.
This is what's called a whistle cane, and it requires a lot of space to actually play it properly and practice. It's also, like most instruments, not typically good at being hit against things, so you definitely want to make sure that you have enough clearance around you, otherwise you might snap it clean in half. But it's definitely loud enough to contend with the sounds of, say, a war drum being played alongside it. And I would say rather easy to pick up. It's only got 4 notes realistically, but it's all about how you play it.
Right. But then I might hit somebody with it.
You could, but like I said, just make sure there's clearance.
Well, that's not fun if I can play music, but I gotta play it far away. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull out a coin, and I'm gonna say, Keothi, heads, I'm gonna buy the bagpipes. Tails, I'm gonna buy the shawm.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We're gonna leave it up to the gods.
Deal.
Can I roll like a coin or a D2? Or is that
Did you just catch that in your mouth? Oh shit! I didn't even see it there.
On the, yeah.
the mic.
What did I say? Heads, bagpipes,
Heads was
tails.
bagpipes, tails is shawm.
It's so cool.
Okay.
Mine was heads if you're interested, but feel free to do your own. I just did it for
Heads,
memes.
bagpipes, it is.
Bagpipes. All right. Well,
For the musical stylings of your life.
for the bagpipes, it'll be 30 gold pieces.
Okay.
And how much did you want for this drum?
Oh yes. How could I forget?
Free.
Just get out my shop.
Please, for the love of God.
The drum is 12 gold pieces.
Awesome, thanks.
And an extra 5 for the medical bills that came after.
No.
Do these come with cases, or is it just the instrument?
Well, the drum doesn't really have a case, as it was.
Well, right. I meant more because, like, look at it.
The squid arms.
It's not even a case of bagpipe. Fuck. Not exactly a case, though. There are straps along the sides to sort of tie down the pipes to make sure that they don't
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Otherwise, you'd have them knocking into everything. And you also most likely want to fully deflate it before storing it in a pack. Otherwise, it takes up unnecessary space.
Understood. That makes sense.
Also, a good idea typically to clean out the pipes regularly, as moisture does collect in them.
Can he teach me how to do that?
Yes,
We don't have to RP it, 'cause
he'll
it's
walk you through
cleaning
it.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Because I don't even know the full procedure.
It's gross.
I
Yep.
can imagine it would be.
It's disgusting.
It's gross enough doing a clarinet, guys. So I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I have to clean out flutes, and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's like,
no thanks. Nah, I've done it
Because it's just a hot, humid metal tube,
that just-
basically.
that just holds your spit. It's
Yeah.
My sister's
Man.
trumpet.
Anyways,
with the-
moving
with the
on because
spit valve.
no,
Because they're just
Moving
finished
on.
eating.
moving on. Jesus Christ, I don't want it. So that was Keothi with her thing, and for the rest of the week, did you just want to practice getting good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm already strong.
Let's
I
have a
don't need anything else. I just want to play the drums with my new. We're in our
jam
new band.
session.
Yeah.
All right.
house.
So for the purposes of learning a new instrument or learning a new tool, it takes 10 work weeks to become fully proficient with it. So you can scratch off 1 work week of your 10.
Holy shit.
Oh, okay. I don't really know how to do any of this.
just
I would
note it
note
down,
it down
right?
somewhere in like
We're
your
just going
character
by feel at
details.
this point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in a note. Let's go.
In like character bio or something along those lines.
Basically, yeah.
Also, on that trip, we don't have to RP it. I'm buying a vegetarian book, recipe book for guard.
Okay. You can do so. There's not so much vegetarian recipes as much as like you find a book that was written by a Triton maybe some 50 odd years ago about how to properly introduce Triton cuisine to surface dwellers.
It's about to be
so
efficiency weed.
it's not vegetarian, but it's pescatarian.
Yeah. Well,
And there are a lot of protein replacements, I guess you could call them, in said cookbook. Not stuff that's necessarily readily available on land, but seeing as this is
Mark might
a
find it
fishing
interesting.
town, should be many available things. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Remy doesn't have too much aversion to eating fish, if I'm not mistaken.
he won't eat it. Like it's kind of the same with fish as it is with meat. He won't
Okay.
eat it if he doesn't have to, but like in a survival case scenario, if that's all there is to eat, he will.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing to note too is pretty much all the recipes in this book, or not even recipes so much as just like general concepts, almost none of them involve actually cooking anything, as cooking under the sea is not something
It's
that's
so
done.
complicated. You gotta find a heat vent, and then you gotta just sit there and wait for it. And then sometimes it floats up to the surface, and off there went my dinner.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh no.
Oops, fell off the. It's like so. You'd stick your fish on, right, or whatever you're gonna eat.
It's like
and then,
cooking a hot dog
it's-
over a campfire,
Yeah,
except
it's
it's
like
a fish on a stick.
s'mores, but sometimes sometimes the heat just pushes the fish,
It's
Yeah.
s'mores, but soggy.
but fishy.
Yes. Also a bit soggy, yes.
Don't knock
No,
it
at
if
least you
you've
never
had
need
a
to worry
heat
about
vent
your
roasted anchovy Quixote.
you never need to worry about your meat getting too dry, at least.
No, it's very moist.
It's gonna be moist, succulent
and
meat.
pre-salted.
Easy. Ugh. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, let me think. What was the other thing? Oh yes, Vinny's shop.
Yes.
Can I do the stuff that I want to?
Sure.
Do-
Yes. Sorry, I
or-
thought you had.
No, it's all good. Either way, I have a couple of things. One, I want to learn a bunch of spells from Kimeth.
Yeah.
So I want to learn Speak with Animals, Augury, Silence, Liamon's Tiny Hut, Water Breathing, and Water Walking. Brand's face just
Okay.
exploded. Actually, my question I did have though is, do you guys think that me having Water Walking and Water Breathing is good? Like, should I get it? Like, how do we feel about it?
Why would it be bad?
I just mean, like, is it something that we feel like we'll probably utilize a lot? Like,
Probably.
They both have separate applications.
yeah, okay,
I think it'd be good.
cool.
And having
so
both of
it's-
them, if only to cast as rituals, is not necessarily a bad thing either. It still opens up your options.
Yeah, and I think it says here that it's, where's the book thing? Where did it go? Hello? Book?
Hello.
Oh, here we go. So for each level of the spell, the transcription process takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold. So that's what? This is 2 hours.
Where did I send you the list again?
In I think
Oh, it's an out of character. I see it.
there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back, Corp.
Welcome back.
Hi, sorry, I had to go to the bathroom.
No problem.
And then Augury is what, second level? So then this one's 4
Exclamation mark,
hours.
tea time.
Silence is 4 hours. Tiny Hut is, so that's 6 and 6. So that's 12, 18, 3 to 4, 5, 26, 27, 28. So it'll take me 28 hours total for all of them. And then 2, 350, 450, 500, 650, and it would be 700 gold.
It's a lot of gold.
It's probably good for me to know them, I'm thinking though. Like,
What?
it'll
Yep.
add more utility to us. We don't know what we're gonna get into.
When you learn a spell, what happens to the gold? Does it just disappear?
No, it's all
No, you
spent.
use
It's
it on
all
ink.
spent on like ink and
Oh.
writing components.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
you go,
and
I want to learn this
sacrificed
spell, and you
50
just toss the gold.
Toss the gold.
Yeah.
Take it
Let
from
me
me,
learn.
magic gods.
Fuck.
Alright, so 700 gold, which I'll take out of here. So I have what, 44,383 left.
Oh no, you're going broke.
I'm so bored. Cool. And I figure 28 hours in a week is reasonable. I just got a couple days where I'm really hitting
Yeah.
them books.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say 44,000 left?
What? 4,383?
Oh, I thought you said 44,000.
Yeah, 44,000 gold. It's part of my backstory. You just don't understand. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
What happened was, right?
And then, so I learned all those things. Hell yeah. And then I need, I'll go talk to Tolly. Can I have, can I have 20 gold from everybody for the horses?
Do
that
I
okay?
also have to give since I had my
Oh,
own?
no, I guess never mind. You have your own horse.
You have to pay for
We have
8
so many
horses?
Sorry, give me.
I'm going to throw everyone
Like
out a
10
window.
minutes.
I got us 8 horses for the price of one, you all motherfuckers.
But you did ask.
I will fight you all. Oh man, okay.
One platinum is 10 gold, right?
Yeah. What, 80 divided by 3? If everyone just gives me 20, or if Keothi and Fran will give me 25 gold, please. Is that okay? We were gonna get horses anyways, please.
No. I'm kidding.
Wow. All
It
right. Well,
is.
then I guess you're fucking
There you
walking.
go.
I guess you're walking.
It's fine. I can go steal a horse for nothing.
I-
Wait, how much? 25?
Yeah, 25.
God, why can't I math right now?
And I know we have extra horses, so maybe we can look at like selling them. I don't know.
71. Holy shit, there you go. 25 gold.
That or if we want to leave. I mean, if we leave one for Kimmeth and one for Guard, that's still what, two horses?
3 horses left because there's 8 total.
3 horses left. Yeah, we don't. Maybe we sell them, or
We probably, yeah.
maybe
so
Tali will take them back. Maybe she'll sell them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to her and see what she gets back from wherever she is.
I don't know where I'm supposed to put on this horse sheet that I have a military saddle. I don't know how. I don't know how mount.
How do horses
How
work?
do horses work?
How do horses do? I learned so many spells. I'm such a smart warlock. Look at me.
The smartest.
The smartest. Actually, I'm gonna put them on my sheet while we're waiting for Dea. I can speak with animals. I can talk to Snowdrop now.
Welcome to the Speak to Animals Club.
Hell yeah. And it's awesome because since all of them are rituals, right? It doesn't take up a spell slot. Or it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't use a spell slot when I cast it ritualistically, I believe. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, it just takes longer.
Yep.
Well,
I think it's only like 10 minutes longer, right?
Well, Dea's on Be Right Back. Does it make sense for us to sort of be right back a little bit? So I want a cigarette.
Yeah, we are technically at the halfway mark.
Yeah, sure.
Do we want to just do that?
Break.
If you would like to. Give me a couple
I
of
think that
seconds. I'll
sounds
get
good.
some music on. Okay.
Boots and cats and boots and
Boots
cats
and cats
and
and
boots
boots
and
and
cats
cats and boots and cats and boots and cats
Yeah,
and boots
you
and
guys just keep doing that.
Yeah,
Just
the
keep
whole
going.
time. The whole
I'll
time.
take you outside with us, yeah? Alright, I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Yep, sure. We can go BRB. Makes sense.
Awesome.
Ah, why
Thank
does everything
you.
keep auto-playing? God damn it. Ah! Too much music, non-music. Okay. Well, BRB.
Good? Yep.
Yep.
What the fuck is going on?
Open your eyes.
Yeah. The vet said that lady is like literally at the cusp of being overweight. You could just like barely see her ears poking up over
Lady,
the...
no.
But like Maine Coons, and it's hard because Maine Coons and like Norwegian forest cats, they're so prone to getting overweight. Like my cat does not eat that much, and like I'm constantly struggling. Like she's always kind of on that cusp, going like in and out of it, and I'm like, how? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, he's supposed to be a lot more active than he is.
My
Right.
cat is an extremely low activity cat. She just does not want to play or move.
He wants to be active. He just doesn't have anything to do. And as much as I try to give him things to do, he's just not interested in what I can actually provide him at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm hoping once my roommate moves out that I'm going to probably like get like cat trees installed into the walls and whatnot, so he can like climb up them and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
He's interested in the headset mic.
He is very interested in the headset mic, but I'm not going to buy a new headset every time that he destroys one.
True.
All right, chair boy. Also, that's not
I
a whole
can't
lot of
wait.
activity just going like this.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm memeing.
I'm so excited to snuggle him. It's gonna be the best.
He is one hell of a snuggly boy.
Oh, I remember. He's so precious. My life.
You do be a cutie.
He's
I went
having a
in-
flip.
The first time I went and visited Daya, he was like, yeah, like kind of like, I don't know if the cats are gonna be like whatever. And like literally the same day that I was there, they just both climbed on me and snuggled in bed with me, and I was like, ha ha.
Chairman doesn't snuggle with me in bed very much anymore. But he, like, if I'm sitting on my chair, he's like, yes, this is home.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, sorry about that. I had to go take care of something with my landlord.
You good.
But we are back, and Luca, last I heard, you were asking them for money for the horses, but apart from that, I don't know if you
We
guys
were
did
also
anything
gonna
else.
see if Tali wants to take back 3 horses, because we have 3 extra horses.
Okay, so you're gonna go visit
know.
Tali and be like, can you just like take 3 of them back?
Well, I'm just gonna ask her what we should do with them. Because I didn't
did
ask
you-
for 8 horses.
Did you want to?
but-
Well, you didn't. You said you needed enough for your party. That's all you said. You didn't give a number.
Well, but she knew how many people were in our party. We like had that
Yeah, but-
specific conversation.
She knew that you also had Guard and Kimeth.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
5
So that-
horses total.
6.
Sorry,
6.
6 horses. Yeah,
Yes.
and then she gave us like 2 extra. Technically 3
Yeah.
because Corp can summon a horse, but
She didn't know that. That was new.
yeah, but she gave us 2 extra horses either way.
We
Yeah.
also mentioned Senezal.
But anyways, I wanted to go talk to Tali anyways, but we don't have to RP it. I'm just during the week when I'm not transcribing spells into my book, I go visit Tali. I don't know if she wants to take the 3 horses back or not. If not, we can, I guess, try and sell them somewhere else. Probably don't want to sell them in the
You don't want to sell them back, and she. When
Yeah.
if you mention that to her, she's like, "Don't do that."
Okay.
I
So these
would
horses.
hold on to them, anyways. That's a fairly big
Okay.
place you got there, and I feel like before long, you guys may have need of more people
Other-
around the place.
That's true.
Also, it's fairly large, and I assume you have a decent amount of storage space. Do you consider maybe working a little bit with me on imports and exports?
That's a. I don't know about that one. I would love to.
Anything I
don't
throw your
know.
way would be perfectly legitimate, just simply land routes
just
that I
need
don't
it.
feel like taking care of myself, as they're less profitable than some of my other ventures.
But all on the up and up. Nothing. Not.
Nothing being sent that is illegal, maybe acquired illegally.
Isn't that just illegal?
I don't know.
The right taxes may not have been paid on said items.
How does Remy
If
feel
at all.
about tax evasion?
He's no Aryan, that's for sure.
I was about to say, well, we know how Arian feels.
I mean,
It
I'm not
doesn't-
there. Remy has no idea, but he would not agree. He would not be okay with that.
Remy doesn't
He'd
need to
feel
know that
very-
taxes weren't paid on these items.
I mean, if Nori agrees to something and Remy doesn't know, Remy doesn't know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's not in his
Remy
moral
doesn't
compass.
know that Tali and me. I'm just kidding. Let's table that. I do really like the idea of passive income. It's very attractive to me. I also
Well,
like
you'll
the
definitely need income, especially passively, to pay the property taxes.
idea. Yeah.
It's not a cheap neighborhood.
Mm. Yeah, I just also like the idea of like keeping my friend. So it's kind of a little difficult. He's like, where you and I are like, yeah, like this isn't gonna hurt anybody. Like he might not view it that way, and I don't want to like.
Well, it'll
I
hurt the governor a little bit.
Well, now you're just making me want to do it more. But I'm gonna float it by the group because this isn't only my house and
Of course, so don't need an answer right away.
okay. Yeah, let me talk to them about that. It looks like we'll keep the horses. I'm sure we'll figure something out with that.
Also, I heard back from my artificer armorer friend, or at least source for friend. He's not in town currently, but he'll be in town in a couple of days. I hear he's coming back from Goal currently. Are you
Okay.
still interested?
I'm pretty interested. I feel like I would have, guys, out of character, I feel like I would have had that conversation with you about the shield, the armor, and then I was thinking about maybe if there's enough scraps trying to do something to artifice my scythe, so maybe it does more damage or something. And I think combining the dragon scale of the dragon that's like eternally bonded with Shinove with her weapon is kind of a cool idea. So,
Probably.
but so would I know that you guys are cool with us doing that with the scales, or did we leave the conversation off being like maybe we just
I think you wanted to hear your quote from Vinny first too before you made any decisions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was what I was gonna get to
I think
next
it's
after.
probably a good idea if we do that. I will come back to you again because I'm sure I'll see you before we leave anyways, and leave the scales with you to give to the person? ? Or we go straight to the person.
I think it's probably best if you speak to them directly, as I can give general guidelines, but if he has any changes in what he can actually accomplish with it, then it's probably better to run it by you first.
Yeah, give me those deets, and we will either use or not use them, depending.
I'll give you his contact information next time I pickpocket you in town.
Yes! Dude, this is my favorite thing. I love that this happens. It's so great. Those horses came out of nowhere. How do you get 8 horses to show up in the stables of someone's home without anyone realizing it?
A little bit of tricky spellcraft and experienced thieves.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
We thought about putting the horses in a bag of holding, but they didn't fit.
Yeah,
Not a single one would fit, so...
Yeah, that makes sense. That'd be a big bag of holding.
It would.
Anyways, hilarious. Loved it. Big surprise. You should have seen everyone's faces. Just horses in the backyard. Where did these 8 horses come from? Then I got to humble brag, right? Yeah, I got to humble brag a little bit. I got to be like, I know a girl. So it was a good time.
Yes.
Dope. Okay,
many
cool.
talents.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. That works for me.
All right. Then I will see you then.
And I won't see you, which is half terrifying and half hilarious.
Exactly.
All right, have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for the horses. Oh, money. Boop. Gave her money. There we go.
Yes.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
And then the last thing I wanted to do, if I have time, is to try and just do some more research on Shinove somehow. I don't know if there's a place.
Yeah, like with what Xylia did with Zavich, you can go ahead and make me your own independent investigation check.
I'm really good at these. I have such a high modifier.
Why'd you have
For
to say
some
it?
reason, you think your best shot is researching Shinove at the Temple of Chandi?
Yeah.
Doesn't go over very well.
They're like buddies. I try to explain to them.
They just think this crazy person's going up to the.
Why'd you have to jinx it?
Yeah.
They tell you that there is sort of a temple to Shinove in the catacombs of the temple, though it's less of a temple and more just a small shrine where embalmings are done for their saints.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, the woman who works down there as their resident priestess of Shinove doesn't really know a whole lot about Shinov that you don't already know. She explains to you a few rites specific to the embalming and or burial of people, and prayers that go alongside with just like rites to Shinov, but otherwise nothing too interesting towards your actual goals.
Nori's like halfway falling asleep while she's like trying to explain stuff to her.
She can tell you're very much not interested and
Big oof.
doesn't go
Well,
too much
thanks.
into detail.
Thanks for your time. Walks out of there. Well,
Bit of a bust.
yeah, a bit of a bust. All right.
As for the rest of the week, you guys do eventually go back to Vinny's to see how your sales and or acquisitions are going. The adamantite knife has a buyer for the asked upon 700 gold pieces.
Yes.
Is that for both of them?
For what? Sorry?
Or yeah, because I think me and Remy were selling one.
Oh,
I
is
thought you
Remy
already
selling
sold
his too?
yours. Didn't Xylee already sell his?
I
That's
found
what...
I found another one.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I also was selling mine.
Yeah, so each of them, they both have the same offer.
Let's go, Xylia.
Let's go.
Were you selling the Ring of Warmth, or did you just get that quoted?
We...
Pretty sure I was selling it.
Okay.
I do believe... Hold on. We at least inquired about it, and he gave us an estimate of 600 gold.
Okay. It's more a question of, are you still willing to
Yeah, I am.
part with it? Okay. That one, he was able to find a buyer for 650.
Okay.
The bandolier, he was able to get an offer for 1,000 gold if you're interested, with all the knives included.
That was how much?
1,000 gold, and all 5 of the silver knives.
Okay.
He says to Keothi, if she is interested in parting with that weapon, that he's got a bid for 2,200 on it.
Oof.
No.
Yep.
Not now that we're rich.
He doesn't look surprised. He'll also buy those 2 scrolls off of you, Xylia, if you're interested in selling them. I don't know if that's why you made them or not.
Yes, it is.
So it was the mage armor, and what was the other one?
Both mage armor level 1.
Oh, they're both mage armors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll buy both of those then for 300 each.
Oh, nice. Okay.
As for the broken rifle, since it's unoperational, the best price he was able to get for it was 10,000 gold. He says had it been operational, he might have been able to get nearly 10 times that. But
We
seeing as
don't
it's
think
broken,
there's a way to repair this thing, though, right?
the education you received in the 2 weeks that you were in the past leads you to believe that you have no idea. You have near enough no idea how to operate, or how to operate machinery like this on a level that you could repair it.
We check with everybody else. What do we think? 2,500 gold each for the broken Gerudo and rifle?
And what else are we gonna do about it? Also,
We could.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know so much about releasing that thing repaired into the wild. How much damage that could do.
Let's sell
So-
it. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I'll sell
Fair
that then.
enough.
So everyone add 2,500 to the gold.
Okay.
So we got 2,500. Are we splitting? Is there anything else that's getting sold that's being split?
The dragon scale would be one thing. I don't know about anything else if we do sell it. Because I can't remember exactly what we offered.
What about the ring? The ring was...
The Ring of Warmth was given back to you guys after
I was using it.
Oh, okay.
after Ferlina left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
kind
think
of assumed
Xylia
it
was
would
the only
be.
one who could benefit from it
Yeah.
at all.
Okay, that's right. But
I kind of assumed those things like the bandolier
Actually,
and stuff,
Keothi
if we
could
were
have
selling them,
benefited
would
from
be our
cold
own.
resistance in general, but
yeah, I mean, I don't mind splitting the bandolier as well, because it was given to Remy, but Remy doesn't really use it.
I mean, yeah, we can split things. I don't mind.
Remy's also not too sticky about money, so I'll
How much
save
was the bandolier one?
1,000.
So 250 each.
Wait, 2,500, right?
2,500 is the split for the broken rifle.
Okay.
An
yeah.
extra
Yeah.
250 for the split bandolier. I'm doing all the math here. If you want to wait till I give the total
Okay.
I've
for
already
what the
been
party
doing
will
it.
get, I will
Makes sense.
get you that.
He did come across a bag of holding and picked it up for you since you already put down the deposit. He
Sweet.
was able to get it down to the 600 gold that he said that he would.
Perfect. Added that.
He hands that over to you, Xylia.
Thank you.
The dragon scales, once appraised, he said for a scale like this, he would probably be able to sell it for $35,000 gold.
Jesus.
So that's 35,000 per scale or for all three?
That's per scale.
He only knows that you have the one.
No, he knows we have more,
No, he
but we
knows
only
we have
asked
three.
him
We only
to
give him
appraise
one.
one.
Oh, okay. Well, he said for the scale it was 35,000.
Are we gonna get 35,000 times 3 gold worth amount of use out of it if we make it into armor? For
Well, what's the benefit of the armor and the shield that we could make? out of
Armor
it?
was pretty
You'd have to speak to the
significant.
artificer first.
Could we not
Sure.
say that Nori went to the artificer the day before? Just because it's over a 7-day
He's not in
time
town yet.
span? Oh.
That's a
mean-
lot of gold.
We can come back and bring the scale. Can we? So, do we have to wrap this up, go to the artificer, then come back here, or can we have like both of these conversations combined, knowing that it's within this period of time?
You can come
We can
back
make
here
decisions.
after you have the conversation with the artificer.
When is the artificer back? Do we know?
Should be back tomorrow according to
Oh.
the timeline.
Easy.
Let's hold off on selling this immediately. Let's talk to the artificer, see what's there, and then we can make a decision from there.
I think we actually did, because he knew that we had 3. I think we asked for 2 different quotes, didn't we? One for one, or I think he said that he'd see how much he could get for all 3.
No, I'm pretty sure that had to
No,
do with
we
the
had
bandolier
talked
stuff.
about potentially selling one regardless and using the other 2 for whatever. However, that was before we found the 20,000 gold coffer. So
Yeah, okay.
now we kind of talked about what else we can do with it. And another thing to bring up is the house has
Fees.
fees, so well, we don't know how much that is, so
Yeah.
we have to kind of figure out how much it actually costs to keep this house, because we are now financially responsible for it.
But do
Yeah,
we
that-
want this house?
I think the best bet is going to be to see what the artificer offers for you guys and then make a decision on if we should sell any or all or any amount.
Okay, let's wrap up Vinny with how much money we all get. Let's go talk to whoever we need to talk to about the house for cost to like pay taxes / like what the general upkeep of a house would cost for like a year or something.
Yeah.
And then go to the artificer, and then we can kind of make our final decision.
The only other thing we haven't covered yet from Vinny was the keystone.
Oh, the Keystone. I haven't received any offers on it yet, unfortunately. I can still keep my eye out though. The one with who bought or who is buying the rifle, said that he had them in spades. He wasn't interested in any more of them.
What's
the
a
phone?
keystone again?
The
It's
phone.
the phone.
The corpse phone.
I know when my hotline bling.
All right.
The fact that it was working was definitely enticing to him, but given what he said what he was already spending on the rifle, if we're willing to sell it, he had no interest.
It makes sense.
All right.
We'll leave it with you.
All right. So just to cover, Xylia and Remy each got 700 gold for their knives. Xylia got 650 gold for his ring. The party each gets 2,750 gold total. That's from selling the broken rifle and the bandolier. Keothi did not decide to sell her weapon. Xylia got 600 gold for his mage armor scrolls. And that's it. We got a bag of holding, but we prepaid for that already.
Well, everybody add an extra, whatever, 650 divided by 3 is. Add an extra 216 gold for the ring. If we're splitting the bandolier, we might as well split the ring.
Is it 650 divided by 4?
Oh, yeah. So, 162. Oh no,
Thank you.
62.
162 plus 25.
And then we'll work out the scale afterwards too, or the scales.
When you go back and speak to Guard about the upkeep of the place, Guard's been reading up since he's the one that's going to be staying behind and taking care of it. He says with taxes and with like general like housekeeping expenses, he estimates per month it will cost 750 gold pieces to keep the place going. He strongly recommends creating side businesses or hiring other mercenaries.
This brings me to a great conversation that I had with my friend who was asking to potentially utilize some of the excess space we have for storage. For goods. For goods. For goods and things.
What, for money?
I think 9,000 gold pieces a year is a fairly reasonable estimate, isn't it?
From
Keep a
Tali?
place like
That's
this?
what
The
she gave
house,
me?
for the
Oh,
house.
no.
No, 9,000 a year to keep for the house up. Okay.
Oh, what is this proposition you had, Nori? Is it for money or?
I was talking. Yeah, right, Tali. I'm assuming I probably got the deets on this. So what was Tali offering exactly?
I don't think she gave you a number specifically.
I would have asked for that. Like, I'm not gonna come to my friends and be like, "Hey, can we put this like these stolen goods in our home?"
It depends on how much resources you're willing to commit to it, but if you put along armed guards, supply your own carriages, supply your own horses, their own feed and whatnot for taking it out of town and wherever it needs to go.
Oh wait, she's not just using our space; she's asking us to like act.
Work for
That's
her.
completely
The
different.
whole thing. Of course, the rental space
Wait,
itself,
how does
she was
that-
willing to rent, basically like one warehouse's worth of space, for 1,000 gold a month, or sorry, a year rather.
Oh. I'll communicate this to everyone and also loosely imply that while the goods themselves are not stolen and or bad, that they may not have been fully paid for tax-wise to the party.
How are we
And
gonna
let
do
them
this?
know
Like
that
a
it
vote?
would and that it would allow us to make an extra $1,000 gold passively per year.
How do we decide this?
Wait, so 1,000 gold per year. We have to manage pretty much everything.
No, it's 1,000 gold
And-
per year for just the space.
Just
For the
the
rental space.
Yeah, literally just renting.
That's
out
not the business, but these goods are not fully.
fully paid taxes on.
How much out of interest would it have been if it was everything, like the transport, everything?
It depends on the job specifically. Each job would pay differently.
That sounds like a lot of work to think about right now when we're just about to leave and we have to think about hiring people and...
Yeah, I was thinking more of like the storage space aspect of it.
Might be a good time to mention that, like I said before, I was planning on picking up a few trade routes myself while you guys were out doing your own thing on the Serpent. So I wouldn't necessarily mind taking certain goods to and from port, especially to Kalkarath, since they don't technically have tax problem, or they don't technically have a taxation there.
Is Kimeth gonna be living with us, like permanently?
Kimeth is joining the company. So
will he
effectively,
be
yes.
helping out with the monthly fees for the house as well, or is that just for us? No, genuinely, because
Yeah. I mean, he's part of the company. Like, yeah. If
So it's going to be split into 5.
Split 5 instead of 4, yeah.
like he like you guys effectively pays in part of his share earned on jobs to the company.
Okay, split 5. It's not anywhere near as bad.
It's what? It's 700 per month.
750,
Times 12,
right?
so
750.
okay.
I don't think
So
I'll be
it'd
making
be-
750 a month on my trips, but depending on the goods that I'm bringing back and forth.
But
maybe-
1,800 gold a year for each of us, right?
Yeah, I might be able to pull in
not bad.
150 gold a month, maybe, on my trips. Depending on the month. If I have a good month, yes. I might need to
Yeah.
also hire crew, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, for
that's
hiring
just...
crews, we
it's
can
so
also
low.
leave you some extra funds. We don't plan on taking all of the money that we have with us at all times, especially on dangerous trips. So if you needed an extra couple of 100 gold, I'm sure we could set like a fund aside.
Starting fees. I just mean as in like the reason why I see 150 a month and not higher than that is because I still need to hire a crew and pay them a wage. Which could be lessened if we just actually hire them on a more permanent basis. Could pick up some minor talents from other mercenary guilds or independents.
How much would you need, do you think, to
Time to
kickstart
hire
something like that?
Ardbert out of retirement.
Be a little bit hard for him to work
We'll
on
buy him
shit.
some new legs.
Sea legs.
Oh my god.
Well, so here,
Thanks, I hate it.
all this managerial stuff is not my shtick, but I'm only one person, and I get that this is a company decision, but I feel very nervous about even the slightest, like, what if somebody comes in and does a search and finds goods that have not been taxed, like, then it doesn't get
like-
traced back to Tali. It's our problem. And now
I think that's why she's paying so much.
Probably would get traced back to her.
Hmm.
Or wouldn't? It would
Only
be to us?
if we ratted on her. Or if they
No, but
somehow
then-
found the
but then
goods
we're gonna
coming
get-
from her to us.
But then we're gonna, if we get caught, then we're gonna get a bad reputation, and then like
The
they
thing
might
is-
We're gonna get a
Cut.
bit more than a bad reputation. We're gonna get
we might
slapped
get
with some
cut
pretty
off
heavy
from
fines.
the guild, and then
The thing
I
is,
don't
we
think
have a
we'd get
very
cut from the guild.
we have a very secure place to store things. We quite literally have the entire basement that nobody can find that easily.
well, she's gonna have to know about it
Why?
if she's gonna store stuff there.
Well, but we would be the
Yeah.
ones like getting the stuff.
Do
Just
you
leave it
guys
with
see
us.
us being here on a permanent basis?
Well, it would most
Kim, I
likely
think
have
God
Would be
would be.
around.
We're gonna have somebody here. That's the whole point.
like the guard and Kimeth show.
Like, we ain't giving just anybody keys to the house to be able to come in and out whenever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's gonna be here to oversee everything. Hence the importance of people getting hired and having more people around that can be trusted. And I'm assuming, Kimeth, you'd be okay with undergoing like the hiring process?
Yeah, I'll be
You're
fine
a
with that.
pretty good judge of character. I assume you wouldn't just hire anybody and
No.
hope for the best.
All right, well then somebody tell me, because I don't know, what are the consequences of being caught with goods that have not had their taxes paid on them?
Hefty fines, paying said taxes, possible imprisonment depending on the goods themselves, but if they're not, you said it's just taxes
Said
weren't
that
paid
none of them
properly
are
on them.
illegal. Yeah.
And
In that case, yeah, probably just fining, really.
How much do you trust this Tali person? Because
With multiple lives.
I
It's an interesting choice of words, but
More than one of my lives.
Even more interesting choice of words.
can I insight check her?
yeah.
Here's the problem. Remy doesn't fully trust Nora yet.
Nora, you can make a persuasion check since I'm pretty sure that's not a lie. She's telling the truth as far as you can tell and definitely adamant about trusting her.
I've known Tali since I was a very small child, and she's never not had my best interests or not taken care of me.
You believe that the only issue with the goods is the taxes, not any theft or anything else?
I made her promise me.
Here's an idea. We have an entire basement that's technically hidden. Why don't we use that?
That's what I said.
It's perfect for smuggling.
That's the whole problem. It's not about the fact that we might. I mean, I guess I just asked about the probability of us getting caught. Also, it's the idea of smuggling.
I mean, Remy, I understand your concerns, but I don't think that anything that we've done in the past few weeks has been legit in any way whatsoever.
Also-
So, using this secret basement thing that we don't really understand,
I
we
also
can't
think
find it.
try to think of it less as smuggling. It's more of a middle point for this. It's enabling the smuggling, but we're not doing it. All it is storage.
In the past few days that we've been here, I've been doing a little bit of research on like the local laws of the area since I plan on being here for a while. And as a cleric of Cargone, I sincerely say, fuck the establishment, smuggling is fine. I don't mind keeping a few gold out of the local
Say it with your chest.
magisterium.
The not Remy in me is so yes.
Say it with that tiny little chest of yours.
As
Kimeth's got a point. I mean, we're not going to be here anyway, and if Kimeth's willing to take the risk, we're not going to know what's going on while we're not here.
all right. Compromise here. We take care of the jobs. Kimeth will watch over it. If this ever takes a turn into smuggling things that are not on the up and up, because right now it's just like tax money hasn't been paid on these goods, but they're like legit goods, right? This isn't people. This isn't.
No. Yeah. From what?
Okay.
Right. What Tali said. It's all legal. It's all legal goods.
Yeah,
It's
they're all
not
legal
taxed.
goods, yeah.
I will agree to this under Kimeth watch, but if it takes any sort of weird, wrong, bad turn, we start getting goods that are not that, blah, 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 I want it stopped immediately. I know
That's
I'm only
smart.
one person. I can be outvoted,
Nope.
but
It's clever.
Sounds reasonable.
Yep, I'll definitely keep my eye out for impending doom. Do I have to go ahead as well to hire additional help?
How much would you need as a kind of Kickstarter fund to be able to hire the amount of people you want and be able to pay them and everything, would you say?
As bodyguards over the water, I think I would want at least 3 more hands on deck. So maybe starting cost 150 this month, and then after that, I shouldn't need it anymore.
Do you have a safe place to store the money yourself?
Oh yeah.
What if we do like what if we have like a nest egg of like 1,000 gold, and that's 250 each from all of us.
That's what I
Should
was
deal with
thinking.
any other startup costs that are required.
Yeah, and then just spend what you need to. Don't overspend.
And if
then
you guys are gone for the full month, then we'll have the 750 for this month's upkeep costs
yeah,
in there.
plus any accidentals.
Yeah.
We should establish a party fund.
The
I
slush
think that's what we're
fund.
doing.
Right, because I think we need to leave enough, obviously, for the hired hands, for the maintenance, all that stuff. But also, I would like to leave a little bit extra in case of emergency. That either Guard or Kimith can pull from.
Well, and then also
If they ever
Kenneth
need it.
said he's going to contribute, right, as well.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
factor him in as a
And-
fifth person, right?
Technically, Guard will be contributing in his own way. I don't think he can really go out and make money.
That's
but
what I'm saying. He's not
He's
going to
gonna
make money,
keep
but
up the
he's-
house.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's gonna
So
be
what
our,
if
like,
we
house
leave-
manager.
Why don't we leave
What if we-
375 each and make it 1,500 gold?
That's what I was literally about to say. Yeah.
So 375 each.
Yeah. I think that should be more than enough.
What does Kimmet think? Would that be enough?
That's more than enough. And leaves me with a little bit of wiggle room in case things go sour.
Okay.
And then I guess after, I'll get you in contact with Tolly to coordinate as well. And after you guys get stuff settled, then I guess we're letting Kimith basically be the book guy, like putting them, like whatever we make it back into the fund and stuff.
Honestly, as well, let's put this money in, but let's not finalize it as that's all there's going to be, because if we go to the Artificer and then find out that we're going to be selling the scales, we can leave a hell of a lot more just in case you want to skyrocket things faster. So,
If you leave me with even more money and a mandate on a hiring process, I can hire more independents to actually work jobs in the area and contribute to the company.
let's leave this for now.
Can
and
I
let's...
trust you, Kimith, to background check?
Kimeth.
I hired the entirety of my last crew and worked with them for years.
All right, buddy, but I'm gonna need you to.
And
Please
also
don't.
watch all of them die horribly.
No, I was about
No,
to say it. Don't say
no.
it, Nori. Don't
No.
say it.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna be managing all this stuff, we need you to have a clear head.
True.
I'm not saying you can't have a drink every now and then, but understandably, after what happened with your last party, you were very distraught and you were very drunk all of the time. So
I was very drunk a lot of the time, even before that happened, in all fairness. But I concede the issue. I would be dealing with much larger amounts of money now.
Guard,
I haven't
did
drank
you-
anything since we've landed here, so
I'm super proud of you.
mostly because that infernal robot won't let me put it on the grocery list. But
I absolutely go tell Guard to make sure that Kimeth is taking care of himself and to back him up if he needs to make sure all the money is being spent right. And
I should also mention too that Sarah has moved his what's left of his equipment to the house and has been kind of just staying until you guys are ready to head out to Mist's End.
That's fine.
Breakfast has been chalky beef for the past few days.
Yes. Perfect.
And Guard repeatedly tells him that there can't be any nutritional value in what he's serving whatsoever, to which Sarah just says, but it tastes good.
It does. Undeniable truth.
we've all gained 10 pounds this week.
It's not just from the
10
gold.
pounds in a few days, Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of fucking chalky beef.
That chocolate will get you. All right, I guess. So we know we're leaving at least 375 for now. That takes
Yes.
care of everything we need. But now we need to go see the Artificer.
Was that a bee sound on the fucking Sirenscape thing? Jesus. No?
I don't know what you're hearing. I didn't hear any bees.
I attacked the bee.
Oh god.
he won't,
Fireball.
he won't get you, Zai.
Jesus Christ. That actually scared me.
I divine smite the bee.
Nori, a little bit later in the day when you're doing some grocery
My
shopping.
favorite.
Grocery shopping with a guard, you go to grab your coin pouch and you feel a little piece of paper in your pocket, and when you pull it out, it says on the piece of parchment, Lusty Minnow, Gautry.
Yeet.
Kind of looks a bit too prim and proper to be there.
Good to know. Awesome. I take this piece of paper and put it in whatever random pouch / bag somewhere on my body that has a bunch of other crumpled up pieces of paper, as is Nori fashion.
It's like your school bag, but
Yeah. Well, right, because when I first described her too, she has bags and pouches and shit like all over. There's little compartments for everything. It's like
yeah,
there's a smorgasbord of bags.
so many purses.
She looks like
So many
12,
purses.
but just instead of the boobies, it's just bags.
Yep, just bags everywhere.
Oh god.
And I share that with the team when I get back, and I'm sure that means that we head to the Lusty Minnow for Gautry.
Okay. Getting in there, you see Ardbert playing away on his lyre.
Hi, Albert.
Yeah,
Filling the
we all
space
wave
with-
at him.
with dulcet tones that are so not appropriate for the atmosphere,
I
as this
go
is
put
a
a
rowdy
coin.
sailor's bar.
Just imagine
go
this is
put a-
where we run back into Felina.
I want a gold in
Oh,
his tip
sorry,
jar.
ignore that.
Augury.
Ignore that.
He gives you he
What
gives
does
you
that do?
a wink, Remy, as you toss the gold in thanks. And looking around the bar, it's fairly obvious who Gautry is, as you see a fairly well-dressed human, not necessarily in like noble's garb, but definitely like much nicer than anybody else in here's wearing. Like, actually looks like his clothes have been washed sometime in the past like couple days. And
This man
he's
can afford laundry service.
he's fairly buff, despite the fact that he's tall and slim, but he's got very wiry muscles by the looks of it. Sort of a longer face with a long black goatee and long black hair pulled back into like a ponytail. And he's sort of sitting there listening to the music and seemingly enjoying the music, if not the general atmosphere of the bar.
Is that the guy?
It looks. Yes.
You-
Help
What did
me,
you
my-
say his-
help me, my brain right now.
What did you say his name was? Gothry?
Gautry.
It's
Gautry.
Oh no.
I go up to his table. Excuse me, sir. Are you Gautry by any chance?
Why, yes, I am.
It's him.
That's not terrifying to have a stranger come up to you and then turn back to 3 other people and go, "It's him."
He like when you yell that, you can see he immediately goes for something in one of his pockets.
No. I'm sorry. We were looking for you. You're an artificer, correct?
Yes, and you hear like this slight sound of like metal sliding back into his sheath as he like removes his hand from his pocket.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Remy, and I hold out my hand.
Remy almost just lost
Nice
a
to meet
fin.
you, Remy.
I put my hand
I'm
on
a
top
shield.
of both their hands as they handshake and go, and I'm Nori.
Xylia looks confused and does the same thing. I'm Xylia?
And I just put my massive hand on. Yeah, okay.
Right.
We
Nice to meet you all.
yeah, we're part of a company, and we procured some materials that maybe you can help us work with.
Sure. He kind of like takes a look around the place. I assume you didn't bring them here.
No, they're still at the house, right?
Yeah, we're not toting around $35,000 a piece dragon scales.
Did you
No,
want to get
but-
into it here, or? Okay.
We have a nice big house. You're free to come have dinner.
Happy Halloween, by the way.
You know what? That's. Huh?
What?
Happy Halloween.
Halloween?
Yeah.
What is Halloween?
Xylia, do you need a drink? I think you need a drink. Let's get a drink.
He's nervous around
confused.
people. Don't think too hard on it.
Uh,
If that would
tell
be
you
your
what,
thing, we could.
dinner sounds nice compared to what I just had here.
Hope you like chocolate and beef.
I'll
I'm not
cook.
sure what chocolate
I'll
is.
make. I'll make something nice.
Okay. Yeah. Not gonna lie, little bit caught off guard by whatever the fuck that was with the handshake, followed by
Everyone just
our
wanted to
initial.
shake your hand.
I suppose so.
I just saw Nori do it and it looked kind of fun. So I joined in.
I felt left out.
Tolly told me to do it when I saw you.
Tell you what, I will get my tools, give me the address, and I will meet you there.
Okay, out of character. Do we know the address at this point?
1, 2,
You do,
3.
yes.
It's Senezal's house way.
Yeah, I believe
Halloween
that's-
Street.
Kelowna.
Yeet.
Yeet indeed.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll leave in say about 15 minutes. Like I said, just gonna get some of my stuff.
Perfect. Any food allergy?
No.
Anything that you just really, really hate?
Not a huge fan of Brussels sprouts.
Fair enough.
Only
No
Brussels
one's a
sprouts
fan
at
of
dinner.
Brussels sprouts.
Only Brussels sprouts at
Chalky
dinner.
Brussels
That's
sprouts.
offensive. I love Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I do love Brussels sprouts.
Chalky sprouts.
No, that's not on the menu tonight.
Cheesy sprouts.
Chocolate covered Brussels sprouts.
Okay, well, he's
Cool.
gonna leave in
I
15
like none of
minutes.
these
I have to go
options.
make
Yeah,
dinner.
fast forward. Fast
go.
forward. We run back to the house.
Yeah.
Remy's making dinner.
I
We're
make
waiting
dinner.
for him to come.
When
I asked Guard to disguise himself.
I'm sat
Okay.
there going,
Especially if a fucking artificer is coming. Like, no, dear sir, please close your eyes.
I'm playing my drum
Oh god.
quietly in my bedroom.
She like taps with her fingers. It's like ASMR drumming, but it's
yeah,
like normal.
when guard does answer the door, he's disguised himself in like a butler look.
Kimmith. Oh, I was gonna say Kimmith's brother.
No, not this time.
Timmy, and Jimmy.
Timoth and Kimmith.
Kimmith, and Jimmith. We haven't met Jimmith yet.
But you can see as Gautry's sort of being escorted into the place, he's like looking around like, this is not what I expected, very clearly. And as
From these
he's
dumb fuckers that came in.
he's brought where are you guys gonna meet him in the like dining hall, I guess, if you're
I'm in the
cooking him
kitchen
supper?
frantically making dinner.
We want
Okay.
to. Nori wants to seem fancy. Let's be fancy.
Okay. So he leads him over to the dining hall, and you guys are sort of all waiting for him, and he sits down, kind of like expectantly. So materials to be made into things. Shall we discuss?
Yep.
This
Dragon
is,
skills on the table.
Okay. You can see him like lean forward in his chair, bring them a lot closer to himself and like start looking them over, and he pulls out some tools and starts like, you can see he takes like a small, very sharp blade and scrapes off like just the tiniest bit of it, or like tries to see how hard it is against a blade.
Careful! Don't damage them.
Whoa, they're gonna get damaged in the process of making things with them. I need to see what sort of durability they have, otherwise I can't tell you if I can make armor out of it. I mean, if a knife cuts it like butter, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna damage it beyond usability. I just need to test it a little bit and see what I can actually do with it.
Okay.
It's part of the process.
Trust the process.
This goes from like
Now, you said
35K
these
to
were
5K.
What are these exactly? These are scales of some kind. Clearly.
Yes.
I don't know. Some kind of underwater leviathan? No?
Just tell him what it is.
Close-ish?
Or are we gonna make a guess?
Well,
I say just tell
if I
him
had
in
to
the kitchen.
guess, I would say a dragon, but they're far too big to be a dragon scale. Is she okay?
No, but that's okay.
They're not too big to be from a true dragon, though.
As opposed to a fake dragon?
It's from a dragon,
They're black dragon scales.
but it's one of the first
Big-
dragons. They don't exist
Big black
anymore.
dragon.
Apart from
It's
one.
a really big dragon.
Big dragon.
Well, they're remarkably preserved if it's from an extinct race of dragons.
Yep.
This one is-
Yep.
Yes.
Nope. Yep.
Well, I can tell you off the bat, Black Dragon Scale is coveted almost exclusively for its ability to prevent acid damage of all kinds. It's very resistant to acids of pretty much any form. The hardness on it is significant. You could probably make armor half as light as steel with scales like this, with the same durability. Maybe even better, honestly. It's definitely very flexible. I'd say, given a black dragon... Keep in mind, I haven't worked with a whole lot of dragon scales specifically, but from what I understand, black dragons, I'm pretty sure, are waterborne. Meaning these scales should also be light enough and mobile enough that you should be able to swim with them attached to your clothes. Weaponry, it's not a whole lot of weaponized applications for Black Dragon Scale. Though
I'm gonna take my scythe and put it on the table.
What about a shield?
Shield, much the same as armor, it should prevent acid damage for the most part, and be considerably light. I mean, one of these scales alone, you slap a couple of handholds to it, and you've got yourself a shield right there. Not exactly artifice, but it's a thing. As for your scythe,
If you had if you could just go ham, you could just do you and make this, enhance this, what are you feeling?
you're a spellcaster, I take it?
Yep.
If I were to use some of this dragon scale in a spellcasting opponent for you, or a spellcasting focus, it might have certain effects granting you more affinity for acid-related spells.
I don't know a lot of those. Actually, I don't think I know any of those.
Grinding up part of it and putting it in potions could do things like granting acid resistance or granting acid breath, or be turned into a very, very potent acid itself, which could eat right through metal in a matter of seconds. I see you're not entirely impressed.
Just maybe not for the uses that I would potentially want it for, but you can't make stuff do stuff that it can't do, right? So
No, unfortunately.
Can't do anything with this, my weapon in this at all? Nothing.
I could see about fashioning a blade made out of the scale itself. I worry that it might be a bit more flexible than you might like, though. Yeah, also, I'm not entirely sure how the blade of this scythe is even attached to it, to be honest. It sort of looks like it's worked into the bar itself. So I'm not even sure I could replace the blade, necessarily. May I actually take the scythe? To maybe take a better look at it.
Sure.
I'll take it.
And it explodes in his hand and he dies.
No, nothing bad happens.
It's booby trapped.
He takes the scythe and sort of like brings it over, and you can see the scale closest to him begins to slowly slide across the table towards the scythe without anybody even touching it. He just like puts his hand out, holding the scale back, holding the scythe in his other hand. I realized, like, too late that you couldn't see where my hand was.
Yeah, we were like...
He's just holding his hand against it for a second. He's like... And you see the scale slowly start sliding, and he...
Maybe we go... Figure out what we want to do with this. You keep all the scraps. And we see what happens.
Out of curiosity, too, the armor and things that you can artifice out of this, how much would they sell for if someone was buying it? Like acid resist, dragon scale armor?
I've never seen scales of these quality or size before. I imagine a lot. The materials themselves are the majority of the cost involved in making such items.
How much would it cost for us to have you
get
make
my
those
services?
items?
I have two options available to you. He kind of like looks up and around. It's clear that this is a relatively new mercenary company, despite the size of your place. I can't imagine you have an artificer on staff already, or blacksmith, or alchemist. I can do a lot of these services if you wish to hire me as a bit more permanent standing. I've recently left Gaol looking for work outside of that hellhole, and I don't have a shop here, and the cost of setting one up is frankly stupid.
Okay.
Otherwise, with the limited tools I have, creating these, I would charge you 5% of the cost of the items themselves if you were to resell them.
That's a lot.
You give us hard numbers out of character so we can understand what's happening with math.
So if you chose to make the armor, let me see. That is... Oh, come on, 5e tools. It's so slow today. It's killing me. Any day now.
It'd be 1750, no? 30, is it 5% of 35,000?
No, it's 5% of the item's cost itself. I could make with 3 scales. I could make to make best use of it. I could make 2 sets of armor, maybe an additional 1 shield out of it. I could make an entire sword as well. Or a set of daggers, if that's more interesting. I don't know exactly what sort of weaponry you all use. You said you wanted to compose something into your scythe, so that leaves me with, say, 1 scythe blade that I will find some way to incorporate into that.
I'm interested on the whole, like, moving towards the scythe thing. That just happened.
I can.
Last time something did that, the scythe was like, nom nom nom. And changed.
Okay, so say setting aside one whole scale, I could.
That's.
I don't know. I'm being pessimistic. One set of armor, one shield, a sword, no longer needing that scythe blade, and the leftovers I could probably make quite a few potions of acid resistance, or solvents, depending on what is exactly you want from it. Or potions of acid breath, but you
Or
seem
we could sell them
far less
for
interested in that.
105,000 gold.
I was gonna say, does all of this sound worth more than 105,000 gold?
Technically,
guys?
if we hired him on and had him and he made these and then we used Tolly or Vinny as someone to market them off to, I think technically we would make more money having it made and reselling than we would if we just sold the skills on their own.
Even
Way I
with
see it is, if you
hiring
hire
him?
me on permanently, anything like this you find in the future, I can make things out of, even if you're not necessarily interested in what they actually are, and sell them at increased costs to contribute to the company itself.
Well, what are your hiring fees?
I charge for my skills 750 a year. Gold, that is, not platinum, at least.
That's $62.50 a month.
That does not include materials that I would require to actually craft things, though most of that will come from you anyways, I assume from
Well,
your
and it would
own
be
adventures.
regained within the sale of the.
Yes, most likely.
That's 12 gold, 12 and a half gold, 12 gold, 5 silver per person per month.
So
If we
I
split it
know,
5 ways.
Nora, you're obviously one in the scythe, but Keothi, Remy, do any of you actually, are any of you interested in this stuff that you could make over the 35,000 gold per scale?
I mean, cheddar biscuits, by the way. Put those on the table. First course. I mean, I'm definitely interested in a set of armor. If it has the same qualities that we kind of discussed last time, maybe in or out of character, I don't remember. I'd be really interested to see what a sword. I mean, I use armor, shields, and swords. I know Keothi wants a shield. I'm down for whatever we're willing to get out of it. I also feel like if it helps with like defense, right? Like 35,000 gold is a lot, but my life can also earn gold in other ways, and if I
priceless.
die,
Oh, for sure. But didn't we
unless-
discuss the Dragon Scale armor not being that great in defense? It just had the other bonuses for acid and stuff?
No, I thought it was way better. I thought it was way better.
it was, if I remember correctly, it was significantly better than the armor I have now.
Yes.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
And
What
remind me
sort
again
of a
what the
short-
weapons would do, because
We never discussed what weapons.
I thought weapons wouldn't get any added bonus.
Just this is out of character, right? So, this is the thing. Obviously, it's better than the armor you've got now, but surely, considering how big and whatever these dragon scales are, we could sell them for 105,000 and still be able to get you a full set of armor just without acid resistance.
But that's
For
not the
way
big
cheaper.
bonus. That's not the big bonus that's coming from this. It's more than that. It's also the fact that, like the other armor that Remy had to get special from Godmoms, this one allows Remy to still swim underwater without sinking to the bottom. So it maintains that aquatic thing, which is going to be really hard to find in this general world now, where we are not in the past of very technologically people. And then it also so it's going to add a lot more to Remy's defense. It's going to continue to maintain that water
What
thing,
was
which
it?
would make be really expensive to get.
Was
put
it a
on
plus to
armor.
AC as? What exactly were the? I don't-
It was mithril for the purposes of like carry weight as well as stealth. It didn't impede your swimming speed whatsoever. Or gave you a swimming speed equal to your walking speed specifically, I think was more the thing. It was resistant to acid, and I think also gave you a +1.
Okay, let me. Mithril is a light, flexible metal. If the armor naturally imposes disadvantage on dexterity stealth checks, the mithril version of the armor doesn't. So already that's no disadvantage on stealth, which is pretty huge for me. Okay, so here mithril armor says it's gotta be applied to already made armor, so
He's
I think
saying
it's
that
just the
this armor
stats of
has
it.
the same effect.
Yeah.
It uses the same
Yeah.
effects that
It's not
mithril
actually
does.
mithril armor.
Yeah.
right. But as far as like AC, when I'm looking at mithril armor, the AC is dependent on something else.
So what armor
Yeah.
would the
So-
armor be comparative to?
It depends on what you want. I couldn't make full plate with scales like this. I could make probably at best breastplate.
So
in
what you're
terms of
saying is
materials.
Okay.
he could take Remy's armor that he already has and add this on top of it? Is
I
that
could
what
do
it would
that.
be?
Yes. Yeah.
And that would also give Remy an
if I added it to an
additional
existing
+1?
frame, it would be considerably less materials.
Okay. So let's. Sorry, I'm asking a bunch of questions, but I want to make sure I know this. Okay, so right now I have what's considered splint armor, which is a 17 to AC. So this would give me +1 to that, right?
Yes, I could add this to splint armor. I think. Yes.
Then disadvantage on.
It would
no-
require the majority of one scale to do so.
Okay, so that's. Okay. So +1 AC, which would make my AC 20, which is really good. No disadvantage on stealth checks, which is what has fucked the team over multiple times.
What do you
Um,
mean?
And I still get to keep all my swimmy swims.
And
yes.
acid resistance.
Does
And
Keogh
acid.
get any disadvantage, advantage, anything on stealth checks at all? Or is it just a normal?
No, just
Straight
yeah.
thing.
Keothi
Okay.
has the
Just
normal.
It's
Yeah.
the reason I have disadvantage is because
heavy
I'm
armor.
wearing heavy armor.
Yeah.
So that's something I guess the group can decide, because it does take a majority of a scale, and
I think it's a good thing. I think
I'm
all
all
of them make
for it.
sense.
as a
Their survivability.
I don't have any sort of prices to compare to, but I know just the +1 shield was already 7,000. That's a base ass +1 shield, so I don't know.
So the plan would be to use basically a full scale for the armor. Nora, you're wanting to use a full scale for the scythe?
No, what I was gonna do is I was gonna take whatever scraps are left over
Oh.
from whatever's happening from
And feed
maybe
it.
2 scales and feed it to my scythe and see what happens, and then we can use 1 scale that we just sell. That's what I was thinking.
Well,
Because the shield.
Keothi
was
wanted
one
a
scale.
shield.
You
That's what I'm
wanna?
saying. So
problem
we
with-
do. Well, but was it a whole? So the shield is a whole scale.
Well, hit,
I said no.
armor-
I said the simplest way would just be to slap on some handholds onto a single scale and turn it into a shield. But I don't need a full scale to make it into a shield.
well, I was also gonna say if a +1, it's only gonna be a +1, right? Just with acid resist.
Yeah.
If a +1 shield is only 7,000 gold, surely is the acid resist on a shield worth the excess for 35,000?
Yeah, that one.
Also on a
probably
person who
not.
doesn't use a shield currently.
Yeah.
I reckon just sell 2 scales for 70,000, and then we have a lot of money left over.
I have to agree with that. I will go back to our pal and tell him you can have two of these scales, but I want 7k off for a shield. Thanks.
Just out of curiosity, what would the sword just be a +1 sword?
No, it would be actually, because I don't think any of you actually know the item. It would be a longsword that deals an additional 2d6 acid damage, I believe. Hold on. Flame.
Also,
Yeah,
it's super
so-
cute because now Remy's gonna have dragon scales from the thing that Shinov likes, and then one of your godmoms is the wifey of my godmom.
Like my
and it's
step godmom.
so precious. No, it's godmother, godmom-in-law.
Yeah, godmom-in-law.
No, I guess
was,
no, it would be step.
I was thinking that a couple episodes ago. I'm like, it's like Remy and Nori are like kind of like god cousins.
We're god cousins.
Fucking hell.
The sword would, as a bonus action, you could activate it to deal an extra 2d6 acid damage per hit, and that effect would persist until you drop the sword or are no longer attuned to it. Additionally, you could, as an action, fling acid in front of you in a cone to deal 3d6 acid damage with a DC equal to with
That's
a dexterity
kind of
DC
hella
of 12.
dope.
Pretty cool.
I can fling.
Is that better
acid.
than your weapon now, Remy?
My weapon is a glowing base longsword.
Would that persist through all of the other bonus action damage things that Remy can do too, like with the holy damage and stuff? Or would that get rid of it?
So it just needs one bonus action to activate, and then it persists until it's dropped. So Remy
Yeah.
technically could bonus action, and then the whole battle every time get
Still
that
pump in,
additional
like, divine smite and stuff, and do
still
divine
be able
smite
to
on
use
top of
and
that.
still be able to yeah, it would stack. Which is
Alternatively, if
I also
Keothi's picking
don't-
up a shield, Keothi could use the sword. Since she doesn't have one-handed weapons currently.
True.
That not's a bad
How-
shout, that not.
How much in terms of scale percentage with the sword?
I think I could do a shield and a sword, or yeah, a shield and a sword with one scale.
I think we decided not on the shield though, right?
It's
Like, we don't-
practically pointless.
because
I wouldn't.
then
I
they-
wouldn't be able to make a piece of armor and the sword. I think with one scale, that would.
Alright.
Be,
So,
So
it
we'll
would be
say-
1.5 scales.
yeah.
Yeah. So half scale for shield, half scale for sword, 1 scale for
Armor.
armor.
So is the... Let's think about this logically. So
We could
I
sell.
highly doubt anybody's going to want to buy half a scale, and if they do, it's not going to be for half of 35,000. It's going to be for significantly less, because it's a damaged scale.
So why don't we just make...
Well, would the sword be worth it for you? If it
swords?
would, then...
No, but why don't we
For
make
sure.
2 swords and sell one?
Well, if you're going to make 2 swords, you might as well both use a sword.
I think the swords would definitely be beneficial, because of
Sword
that extra
brothers.
damage, right? Well, and that
yeah,
damage is
I'm-
like really good to add that
The
much onto a roll, right?
For-
That's like
I'll say at least for me, I don't remember exactly what Keothi is rocking with right now, but both a sword and the armor would be significant upgrades. That being said, he's okay. It's a lot of money, and if we don't get those things,
we do also-
Remy's also
we-
okay with that.
we will also have to do the math as to how much it's going to cost to pay this guy to build these things.
hmm
So
Yeah.
that's the other part.
Well, he said it'd be free if we took him on as a full-time artificer, right? Artificer.
Well, I mean, obviously my monthly cost is still incurred, but yes. free.
And monthly cost, I'm saying monthly cost. Like I think that's what we want to do because monthly cost for him is 12 gold and 5 silver per person in our group.
Yeah.
If we split it between us and Kimmeth, like I feel like that is more
It's definitely worth doing it that way if we're gonna keep him on.
get him to make all this shit.
I would want
I'd be
at
fine
least
with
a 5-year contract signed as well.
Well, that wasn't agreed on, but
Yeah, but if you think about it, and I'm like, but he's gonna be working here.
Well,
and
I'd
if he
rather
works-
not work for a month
and if-
for far less than I would have made.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's.
And
gonna
if
be
he
working,
works
he's
for
making a profit,
us-
he can pay.
If he were.
the stuff.
And if he works for us, right? If he works for us, technically we gain part of that profit. Yeah, isn't that how that all works?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You gain any profits off the items sold, and I retain my salary.
Yeah. So
So
like, if
he
he's-
said it
if
was
he's-
750 gold a year, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Over 5 years, that's 45,000 gold, which is not that much more than one of these dragon scales.
Wait, what?
4,500 gold.
750?
So 750 for 12 months, that's 9,000.
It's 750 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'd be times 5.
So
Oh.
750 times 5,
That's 3,750.
which
For-
is going to be cheaper than even us paying for one thing at 5%, most likely.
It definitely is. I would definitely like to keep at least 1 or 2 dragon scales though for the excess fees, because I think it'd be smart to be able to put a lot more behind, so that things like this can grow and thrive.
So that the businesses can keep going to make us money to pay for the house while we're gone.
Yeah, I just don't
so
know if
I'm thinking, can we do armor, 2 swords, sell 1 scale. 1 scale by itself is already 35,000 gold.
so. If we're making 2 swords, is that going to be what's the plan
If
with
we
that?
wanted,
It'll take me
I
a while
mean-
to complete, but I can work on it. Yeah.
We'll leave them while we go, and we can make the decision depending on what we find when we go and kill this thing. We can leave him to make 2. I can use 1 and Remy can use 1, or we can sell 1, or we can do whatever after that. That doesn't matter. But either way, we're going to be keeping 2 scales because we need 1.5. So we may as well sell 1 and leave the 35,000 and the 2 scales for them to work on while we go and fight the other stuff.
I should also mention, just to sweeten the pot, you can put me to other tasks as well. I'm a fairly competent alchemist, fairly competent armor and weaponsmith, just with base materials. If your company needs health potions made, I can make a health potion. Maybe once a week, I can fix up a full health potion.
oh, that'll save us money in the long run too.
I think it's a good idea. I do.
Yep. I do think that we should. Does anyone have Zone of Truth? I feel like we should have an interview.
And just to be certain, the swords would definitely be worth more than 35,000
Each, no, but
No,
together,
in-
yes,
in total.
yes.
Perfect.
Is there any way, because I'm impatient, that you could figure out how much you would need of all of the 2 scales to make this and what would be left over, and cut that off so I can see what my scythe does when it touches it?
Well, for the armor specifically, I can start cutting the strips immediately and see how many strips exactly it needs for it. If I'm,
And then before we
I am
leave,
small.
I'll just. Yep.
that's
And then
helpful.
before,
I mean-
before we leave, I'll just put my scythe next to the excess.
I'll get on it. When do you plan on leaving?
I don't know how many days has it been. When are we leaving?
It's been about 5, so you have about 2 days left.
2 days.
I should have the cuttings all done by then at the very least. I believe there's talk of an interview with Zone of Truth.
Yeah, we just like to make sure that everyone's on the up and up here. It's, once you're in here, it's kind of like a family, and
It's understandable. It's the same at most companies.
Yep.
Ask away. I'm an open book.
Do you
Alright,
play an instrument?
Wait, I have
I-
to cast the spell first.
just in
do
case he's
not.
lying.
So
Yeah. I'm
Would
gonna
you be
cast-
open to learning an instrument?
I think I am proficient enough with enough tools already to consider what I do in art. Learning more
Are you
is
okay with
overburdening,
hearing lots of instruments?
I suppose. Remy, you can tell that he doesn't actively resist your spell.
I would have asked him first. I mean, he sounded like he was okay with it, so.
Yeah, but you can tell that he didn't resist it whatsoever.
So
Can we go through the customary level of questioning that people who potentially may be smuggling non-taxed items underneath their basement would ask to vet someone that they're hiring on?
Come again?
I'm mashing the X button through the text box on this chat with this specific NPC.
Okay. He seems the right combination of shady but trustworthy in your eyes, based on your questions.
shady as in.
I just don't like shady.
As in, he's willing to overlook illicit activities within the company that he's working for, so long as he's still making the salary and getting to explore with materials being
Yeah,
brought
and we're
through.
probably not going to tell him about it anyways, so like, it should be fine.
I mean, I feel like
I just
Okay,
didn't know
okay, hold
shady
on.
as in like he's got like.
You can tell he's definitely got a colorful past, which he doesn't elaborate on, but as far as you can tell, he's not like wanted for murder.
like we might be. Anyway.
And the fact that he said explicitly at one point that he fled Gaul after the current uprising means that he's definitely not in line with that, at least.
I think for the people that do work for this, can be a group vote by all means. For the people that do work for us, if they're undergoing this vetting thing to make sure they're not gonna rat on us or anything, they should know about the stuff that's going on here. Otherwise, if they find it of their own accord, then it could go badly, very badly, and that's a very bad idea to have with them not knowing.
Especially when we're not here.
I feel like everybody should know. It should be an open book for the people that are part of this company and part
How
of what's going on.
how about we leave it up to Kenneth? He's the hirer and firer. He's going to be the HR manager in this. We're not even going to be here.
I
So
think
I
we can get
guess I
Kenneth's
don't
opinion.
think their knee-jerk reaction to them finding out something potentially like questionable is going on is for them to immediately be like, if he's got a slightly shady whatever, like Dea just said, and he's comfortable with the possibility of something like that like occurring, I
Yeah, but
don't.
if
His exact words were, "Your business is your business, so long as it's not going to get me in trouble, I don't care."
And if somebody else comes along and they have a slightly different attitude towards it and they find the stuff,
Then we can adjust. Then we can adjust
we're not going to be here
on
all the time.
a per person. Yeah, but Kenneth, we can leave it up to Kenneth's judgment and.
I think it's a bad idea to not let people know what's going on in case they come across it.
I
but that's
think
just
as
me.
this continues to grow, with what we're looking at trying to do you want 50 plus people to know about that? Because the more
Would you want-
the more brains you get involved, the more the less likely it is that it's gonna slip.
I agree. And then would you rather have one person find out about it of their own accord and tell the other 49 people, and then they distrust the people that they're working for? Because that's a terrible
But
idea,
I
in my
don't think
opinion.
that's. If we make sure that part of the hiring criteria is that we're looking for people that like are just trying to work and like do their job and aren't like, then I think it should be okay. How
know.
many
I put my
people
thoughts
are
across.
how many people who are treated respectfully, gainfully employed, and respected, employed, taken care of, and have a stable living, how many of those people are going to ruin all of that? Plus the fact that if they do that, they will also ruin it for 40 plus other people.
It only takes one.
Okay, but that's the same thing with telling everybody it only takes one.
That's why we vet them first.
So then what's the difference between if we already deem them as someone that would be okay with it in the first place, why do we need to let them know?
If I'm doing something
Why-
illegal, I'd rather only 3 people know than have 53.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
wouldn't we let them know
exactly.
if that's why we're vetting them? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
We're
Not all of
because
them are gonna be-
none of them are. Yeah, the only people that we need to let know are the people that are going to be directly involved within that specific area,
Yeah.
which our artificer not going to be.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I get that.
I need to
All I'm
take
saying
care
is,
Snowdrop's out of control out here.
all I'm saying is, yeah, if we have 3 people that know about it and then the other 40 plus don't, but then they find out somehow and then they end up feeling betrayed or feeling like we are telling other people certain things that they're not, then it could end very badly. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay, right. Well, the way I see it, this is like if I'm working for somebody, they're the manager. They're not going to tell me literally everything that's going on in the company because it's none of
But
my
if-
business.
Okay, but if you're
You
working for
will
somebody that
probably
you
need to
think
tell
is
them about
uptight,
guard.
yeah, if you're working for somebody that you think is uptight and doing everything by the books and you somehow find that they're smuggling illegal things,
Then
We're not
welcome to
smuggling
America and the
anything.
UK.
We're not smuggling anything that's illegal. They just haven't had the taxes paid. Yeah, it's just
it's
untaxed
kind of
goods.
clear though that it's hidden away and we don't want people to see it. Is my point. I don't know.
Yeah,
Remy, what
in
do
a
you
basement
think?
that nobody knows where it is.
Even
So then
exists.
so all we do is figure out like the best means for like translocating those goods. Like,
I get it. I get it.
But
But
yeah,
I don't know. I put my point across.
Yeah.
Remy, thoughts? Get everyone's thoughts.
So I think I'm kind of 2 ways about it. On the one hand, we all took this job under the explicit notion that the job description involved doing things that were not totally over the table, right? Like, there's just as much of a risk with the warehouse stuff as there is people finding out about guard, and guard is from ruins and you're not supposed to go there. We were
Guard's not
all
going to be able to
hired-
disguise himself all the time either. Like
Right.
that's like a
guard
few hours a day at best.
we took this, like, when we took the job, we knew that that was the case. And I think if we're hiring people and we get it again, maybe we don't hire people who are the super uppity, like, I don't want to say we hire like a bunch of criminals,
Scoundrels.
but if somebody seems to have a very tight moral compass, maybe they're not fit for the job. I mean, just
Those
in
aren't
general,
the people that
they're
I'm worried about. It's the type of people that don't have the moral compass that could.
well, that's the kind of that's the risk I'm worried about too. If you have to, where is that line, right? Where it's like they could
Because think of
ruin
it,
us or not. I don't know.
and it's also, think of it, if we hadn't have, because we know how you feel about this kind of stuff. If we hadn't have told you and did it, and you just came across it on your own,
I'd be pissed.
it'd be very different
But-
than letting you know
Yeah.
first.
but we also trust Remy, like,
We should
at
trust
least
everybody
Nori
that we're
trusts Remy, like,
hiring.
implicitly.
Yes, but we've known each other a lot longer, and we're the lead.
So are we are we gonna take every single one of our employees out on a like ruin exploration to like see what kind of person they are? Like, we can't
That's
vet
not my
them
point.
like that.
There's no reason the majority of our workers are not going to be also mercenaries going out and doing things. If they're tested in battle to be brothers to those within the company, then I think that proves that they're trustworthy enough. Maybe after X amount of jobs run, we fill them in on the more broad spectrum of the situation.
Or if they ask, then tell them. If they don't ask, don't tell them. Don't matter then.
I don't know. I'm very
Shut up, donkey!
Snowdrop, please.
Snowdrop doesn't make those sounds.
I mean, he just
Oh
he,
my.
he became as big as the size of the whole town earlier, so who knows? He's a strange one. I will say I don't have much of an opinion on it. However, I do think if we are gonna hire people that are kind of laissez-faire about this kind of stuff, we have to be careful that we're not hiring, people on the spectrum who are gonna like stab the company in the back. How that works, how we...
I mean, I have Zone of Truth as well. I can use
Kimmeth
it
has a
during the
bunch
interview
of stuff.
process.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a question of, do we trust Kimmeth or not? Because we aren't gonna be here a lot of times.
I trust Kimmeth to make the call as to the individuals he does and does not inform about this. I don't think that we tell everybody that we hire. Doesn't make any sense too. I don't think that's.
But it's
that's
just
how I
like
feel.
when we got hired on to Senezal's Archivists, right? We took the job and we didn't know what he wanted with the stuff that we gave him. We just kind of was
Look where
like,
we are now.
We still don't really know, guys. I don't know what you're on about.
I mean, we're trying to figure that out now. But I'm just saying it's not a position we haven't been in before ourselves.
Yeah, but
So-
also Nori but this is the thing. It's like Nori mentioned, people are going to be fine working for a trusting, respectful thing. Like, I don't trust Senezal as far as I can fucking throw him now. We're kind of stuck into this.
Rude.
I don't.
Why?
Not
like
one bit.
I guess I'm confused as to why you don't trust him.
I don't know him.
Because he lied to us from the very beginning, and we still don't know what the truth is.
What do you mean he lied to us?
He told us that it was Senezal who wanted this job doing, and that it wasn't even him. That's not him. The whole thing was a lie. Everything was built off of one big lie, so I do not trust him one bit now.
I'm confused still because I think we already understood or realized that Senezal is not.
From the very beginning, you didn't think he was who he said he was? Because nothing
No,
told
I'm
us
saying I think that it like Senezal and Valkyries I don't think are the same individual. I think they're like cut from the same cloth but not the same person.
I'm not
if
even
that
thinking
makes
about the
sense.
whole time travel back in time thing. I'm speaking just the facts that we actually know. Like, we got here, we were told Senezal was there, the old man, this was his little realm thing, and it was all magic and illusion. It wasn't true.
I feel like everything that has been done has not in any way been done in a detrimental or like harmful seeking manner, and I think as things progress we are being brought further into the fold.
Yeah.
And out of character, given Nori's history and past experiences, she is exceedingly more sympathetic towards what's going on. So
I mean, I think we all have things that we haven't told
I don't
each other.
I don't remember shit.
insight.
Yeah, but
Dude.
like you
What
might-
happened?
Fucking
What
thing.
happened with that ship full of slaves?
Here's the thing, Xylia. When we were in the future, didn't you come to me and share things with me that I didn't know before that were big deals?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it could be the same for Senezal, right? And we found out, so now we're going to confront him. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't trust him. I'm just saying there's no such thing as a world where like the situation is going to be super ideal and perfect. If we're going to own businesses and own a company, there's risk involved in that.
I get it. My whole point with even bringing up Senezal is, like, I know Nori trusts him, I don't, but that's because we were lied to, in my eyes. And that could be the same going forward if we don't tell people. I just think if we tell people, it's at face value, and it's minimizing future conflict. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. If nobody else thinks that way, we don't tell people. It's a group vote. I'm not gonna go and start telling people for the sake of it, it's just my thoughts.
I guess my brain just operates under the less people that know about a secret, the less likely the secret is to get out.
And then if the secret does get out, my brain operates on the more people that find out, the more cataclysmic it can be.
But the thing is, my brain works of the chance of that actually happening if 4 people know compared to the chance of it happening if more than 4 people know.
There is
a
no
lot
chance if
less.
everybody knows, because everybody knows.
But somebody could randomly decide
No,
that they were
but-
visiting to buy some armor, or visiting to like do something else, and they could see it and then go and tell somebody in town, and then it would all go out. You got to think of it. It doesn't matter how hard you try
But
and
that's
hide things.
unavoidable anyway.
The
I'm talking
more
about
people
workers,
that
not random
we-
people.
Yeah, but the more people that we hire to work that know about it, even if they do know about it, the more people that other people can find out about it from. And instead of it being something where it's contained to 4 people and potentially leaks out, it's contained to 50 people.
Plus,
Like,
I'm not
okay.
sure that Nori's friend's gonna be too happy if we start telling loads of people about her activities of holding her tax-free goods under our roof, because it's not our secret.
It's gonna go back on
Really?
us, not her.
Yeah, but it
either
would
way.
more, unless I guess we'd have to then be like, we're doing this all on our own and we're somehow procuring these goods. Cause yeah, like
I mean, we can
tell-
always say, like, we have a side business in trade. We don't have to say there's no taxes being paid on the trade. We're just working in trade. I mean, how would they even know unless they find ledgers?
Yeah.
That I don't even think.
I guess. I just think it's
We won't
extremely
have the
sketchy.
ledgers either.
Like, it's not a, I get, you know, not having non-tax goods isn't the worst thing in the world, but still pretty fucked up.
Well, that's the thing. Oh, that goes back to the question: do we want to? Is now that we have a whole company worth of people, is 1,000 gold a year income?
It would be more than that because what we're doing now would be the whole thing. It's not just storing, it's the transportation of goods. So we would make a profit on every set of things that we transported.
Just don't know exactly how much that's gonna be.
Daya, can you give us a rough ballpark estimate if we were to do the whole kit and caboodle of what we would make per year?
I know it'd depend
like
on the-
transporting and shit.
The
Just like a
most
minimum volume.
standard trip is from Talona to Boskman. Reason being, they're the most alike in settlements, despite very different governances.
So can you
different.
ballpark us a year around how much we would make if we
Just
were
making trips
doing-
to and from Boskman.
just having our start out of whatever this is, because you said something about Kimith and Kalkarath as well.
Yeah. Well, if Kimith is making 150 a month after fees and whatnot.
Because the people under him would need paying as well.
Well,
Yeah,
wait, it's
that's-
150 a month for the smuggling thing that we're talking about? I thought you were saying that was him working like legitly.
Oh,
There's too
yes.
much math.
There is a lot.
That's what I'm asking, right? Because we're operating legit area business and then we're operating slightly gray area business. I'm asking gray area business, what's that profit look like for a year?
For a year doing the gray area business, it's about 7,000 gold pieces a year.
Is that after we pay everybody as well, or is that before?
Yes,
pay-
that's after
Yeah,
expenses.
that's profit.
That's probably worth it.
That's like pretty much
That's the
finished
house.
the house costs then.
Yeah.
We'd only have to pay 1,000 gold a year.
And then literally the whole, like the rest of the entire operation would be profit.
Which is also included on the percentages of the people that we've hired now.
It's worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I want to say I do get what Xylia is saying, because on a business owner level, right? It's
Because Xylia
it
mentioned
makes-
he doesn't know why he's so worried about people finding out and doing illegal things, but for some reason it bothers him.
Well, no,
I don't understand. I'm confused.
It's backstory stuff, but it's only what I know so
I'm
far.
laughing,
but
none
it's
of you are
very
laughing.
much backstory stuff.
No,
There's a
no,
reason
it's fine.
for it. There is a big reason.
I don't want to
for it.
know. I don't want to know the backstory stuff. I'm saying as Remy in character that he understands why Xylia is nervous about it because he's also nervous about it. And I think you have to make a decision about knowing what Remy knows, which is not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But like on the one hand, as a business owner, it is safer not to tell anybody or not to tell the people who are not necessarily involved. On a personal level, it really sucks to be working for somebody and to have a side of it be secret to you that you are, unknowingly compliant with. I do see your discomfort with it.
I understand too, Xylia, but then again, I don't think we understand the single thing that we've been asked to do and the real implications of it in our entire lives. So, why not?
That's part of my problem, but yeah, I see it.
From Nori's perspective of all of this, like, one, she unwaveringly trusts Tali and does not believe that she would in any way, shape, or form put Nori in a situation that would be uncomfortable. So from the section of the types of goods being transported, et cetera, Nori is has 0% worries that it would ever turn into something like that got out of control on that hand. In regards to trusting other people, given Nori's backstory and experience with people in life, sharing a secret like this with a lot of people, probably not that great.
Xylia is just very conflicted in terms of the legality of everything, but...
Keothi doesn't care. If someone tries to arrest her, she'll chop their head off.
I love Keothi so much.
Yeah. The simple...
So do we want to put it? Okay, do we want to put it to a vote then? We can just put it to a vote.
We can just
are we
go,
telling
like
all
you said,
employees, or are we discretionary?
I mean, the vote's already been cast. Honestly, we're not telling anyone. It's only me that feels so strongly about it. So,
I say we trust Kimith. Kimith, I think, will let the people who need to know. Everyone else just needs to know that there's trade. There's like a trade.
I mean, think
side
about
business.
Okay.
Which I think makes sense anyways, because we already have an artificer who's going to be creating and selling stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's commerce.
In this
just
case,
think of the worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario, the good outweighs it anyway.
Let me ask another question then. Do we make it clear that the basement is a restricted area for people? Or do we just hope that they don't find it?
I thought they can't find it.
How do you find it? We couldn't find it. It's so possible that anybody can find it.
It has to be a restricted area because of the fact of how magical it is and the rest of the stuff that's going on anyway. I think that it's a secret zone. No one needs to
We
know
can say, again, that's something, the basement, where...
All it would take, sorry to cut you off, is a thought that came into my head. All it would take is for someone to pull the lever, which is clearly there and not hidden at all, to hear a noise happen downstairs where there is no downstairs and find it. It'd be so easy for people to stumble across it.
Even if they do find it, why would their brain immediately go to illegal activity? These are untaxed goods. Like, why would that be what they think?
Because it's a hidden, locked-off area that we are keeping from certain people and not others.
Okay, but when you go into a business in general, when you get hired, do they go on a tour and go, I'm going to take you into every single room here possible, even though your job is like this
they
one
live
thing.
here, though.
Yeah, they live here, and if there's an area that is restricted, restrict it.
Yeah,
so don't
just see it as it was the manager's quarters, and we're the managers of this company.
Yeah,
so I'm
would
confused.
you let any employee go into the manager's quarters?
No.
Exactly, so restrict it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Then yeah, just tell them it's the manager's quarters.
Oh, it sounded like you did.
No, I said don't let anyone down there. There's a skeleton, for God's sake.
Okay, yeah, no, I think we should
Don't go down
restrict
here.
it.
This is where we keep our skeletons.
Skeletons in the closet.
Are literally in our closet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's gonna be one of those things, right? Where, okay, basement is restricted. The only people who can go in there is Kimith, or people who have been given the explicit trust to do that.
Now apparently the artificer, because he's in front of us.
No, you're not having this.
Specifically,
Yeah.
Also, Nori, this is pretty standard practice. Like, you remember in the Golden Bow,
Yeah.
there were restricted areas. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Cool. Yeah, let's go. I'm already in
If-
agreement.
Yeah, and if it's the same, like if you get hired somewhere and you do something you're not supposed to do, you break the rules, you get fired. Somebody comes in, they're in the basement, and
We kill them. That's how you fire them. No, I'm kidding. I'm
No.
joking.
Can I go? Can I
We fire
ask the
them.
artificer a quick question?
sure.
Well, what I know, artificers know about magic, right?
Yeah.
A lot of enough about magic. Is there any kind of spells to like adjust people's memories?
There are old teachings that suggest that such spells exist, but they're a little bit outside the scope of anything that I know.
That's fine. I was just curious.
The artificer awkwardly looks at the rest of us as we just asked about modifying memory. No, I'm kidding.
this is a lesson. Capitalism just breeds arguments, and we should sell the house and the company and be vagabonds. For
There we go.
Of course.
Get it.
Traveling band.
Well, Remy, you still
Fuck
have
the
the
establishment that includes us. We need to quit.
you still have the thing, right? I don't think you've shown any of us it yet, if I'm not mistaken. The
Nope. It is still on my person, and nobody knows.
The bagpipe?
No.
I feel like after a week of bagpipe practice, everyone knows about the bagpipe.
That's why we were shouting. It's not because we were arguing. It's because we can't
Yeah,
hear anymore.
everyone's a little on edge. They have had a week of just hearing nothing but war drums and bagpipes.
Love it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Remy's keeping that document a secret for now, for reasons you are not privy to.
And the reasons, again, the reasons earlier was so like
yeah, it's
conflicted
RP.
is
It's fine.
well, it's for backstory purposes, but he doesn't even know fully why yet. He knows like a little bit about why. I don't think Dea, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't remember the full extent of that whole thing, right? It was just a flashback memory of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's just as confused. He doesn't know why he feels so strongly about it, but he does for some reason. Out of character? Fuck it. Don't tell anyone. It's a fucking secret. Like, but I want to try to stay in character as much as I can for it.
Yep. Makes sense.
Also, out of curiosity, would any of that have triggered any kind of memory or?
Go ahead and make me a wisdom save.
Oh shit! That's the first one of the campaign.
First wisdom save?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say with that, as you're having this argument, you can't help but see yourself standing in front of like an audience of people having similar debates like this to somebody who's arguing against you repeatedly. You and him, or you and your opponent, basically up on your own podiums.
Okay.
It's just adding to the confusion right now for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you repeatedly feel the phrase straw man come into your head as you're as you're arguing something that you feel both passionate and dispassionate about.
Would Xylia know what that is? What that phrase means?
Yes, Xylia would know what straw man means.
Okay. Xylia looks sad.
Womp womp womp.
Ugh.
Anyway, you win, I lose, I'm going to bed, okay?
And with that, I think that is the end of our session tonight.
We made no decisions.
No concrete decisions.
Wait, on what?
Though, I mean, you've decided what you're going to do with the scales. You've hired an artificer, decided
We're making an empire.
I
major
honestly,
empire.
It's out of character. It's a massive shock because I didn't expect for us to be given like this much money and have this much power over other people. It's way more than I
Yeah.
expected. I was like, okay, we have us four to worry about, and
My
that
head
is
is
it.
just
We go on
swimming in
journeys.
numbers, and I'm just like, Remy just wants to explore the world. This is not his forte. I'm out.
Can I just on a personal out of character note say, Daya, fuck you, because I'm sick of counting and doing accounting.
Yeah,
And now I'm here on
true.
a Saturday night.
You could be leaving a lot more of this to Kimmeth.
Yeah.
It's fine. We figured it out. We're gonna hire people. Kimmeth will use his best judgment as to who gets told. The basement is restricted because it's only
I
for
think the one
managers.
decision. Yeah, I think the one decision we did come to was just leave it all to Kim.
Pretty much. That's why we're paying him now. So the dragon scale, we decided that we were using 2 of them and selling one of them. The one that we already showed the.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Valkyries. What's his name
And
again?
then I'm gonna.
Vinny.
And then I'm gonna see what happens when I rub my scythe against the dragon scale scraps.
Right.
So we're gonna have
do
one
that
set of
now?
armor and
'Cause I'm
2
intrigued.
swords.
Can we do that now? Please, I don't.
Sure,
wanna
but I
wait
haven't
either.
I haven't finished exactly what it gives you.
Okay.
But I can tell you.
describe it.
I can
Yeah,
describe it.
give me
Yeah.
the nom 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 nom. Give me this
The-
morsel. What happens?
It's gonna
These
be
scraps
cool.
are absorbed into the scythe, and at first it doesn't seem to have any sort of visible effect until you kind of feel for the power within the scythe itself and realize that there is definitely a lot more power within it. And as you draw upon it, you can see veins of this dark, sickly green light climb up the scythe and into the actual like metal blade at the top. And
Dude, I'm becoming Reaper before they even launch for Endwalker. I've done it. I've
The-
unlocked Reaper before everyone else.
the blade at the top, rather than being a singular blade, as you pull into this power, splits into 3 parallel blades that looks more like a dragon's talon. And you can see acid dripping off the tip of it.
Yo, fam.
Well, now she's just gonna ruin more of Senezal's floor.
I do really enjoy the fact that I started this campaign
come
with
full
throwing
circle.
acid on the floor, and
We
now
should
I have...
we should use the other dragon scale as like a acid catcher underneath it.
Next week, Nori's back will be completely disintegrated.
Oh my god.
no.
It only drips the acid so long as she's drawing upon the power of the acidic
Castle
dragon within
Grayskull?
it. Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really fucking cool.
That's
Hell
That's
yeah.
worth the however much the dragon scale was worth.
Just impressive.
Visual
well,
effects.
and it's only scraps of it, so it wasn't even actually like we weren't gonna be able to really
Could
sell
have been
it
used to
anyways.
make like
potions and
potions
stuff, but-
maybe. Yeah.
So can we all add the money from one of the dragon scales? 8,750 each,
Yeah.
just so we don't forget.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to put that in the group leave it behind chest right now?
I think we should. I don't think we should leave 35 grand behind. I think we should split it, and then we'll decide at the beginning of next session how much we're actually going to leave behind.
You said
Okay, so-
8,750.
Yes.
So 875 platinum, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Squeeze me. Vinny would have given it to you in platinum because he's fucking 35,000 gold pieces is much
That's-
more than you could fit in a gold pouch.
875 platinum, right?
Yeah.
10,000
I'm-
gold is
I
how much
I cannot
platinum?
stress how bad I am
10,000
at
gold is
math.
1,000 platinum.
This is all a nightmare to me.
And then remember, because we had already taken it out, right now in our slush fund we have 1,500.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 3,000 gold is 300 platinum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just divide
So
by
it-
10.
I'm sitting with
15
1,700 platinum. This is insane.
Yeah,
1,859
we're all like
platinum.
extremely
What the
rich.
fuck?
It's weird. The slush fund was 1,500. You said. I'm just gonna take the note.
Yeah, 1,500 is what we've already decided to put in the slush fund, so
That's insane.
we can figure out from there.
And that's gold, right?
Oh, quick question as well, just because the amount of date talk in the chat really confused the fuck out of me last time, and I have a really short-term memory, so I want to write it all down. What are the dates that we are taking off?
Next week we're on. Nori's not going to be there.
Okay.
The following 2 weeks we won't be playing because Luke is going to be here, and I'm not sure we'll even be in town when we have game times. I know the first Saturday we're definitely not. Second Saturday, no, we're not either because we're going to be at my grandmother's.
Yeah, I just want, and also I just want to hang out with my boyfriend. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's fair. I just want to make sure so I know what I'm doing.
And then after that,
I'm not here.
After that, Luke will be back for 2 weeks.
you're not here on the
And then
4th.
I'm not here on the 4th.
So
Okay.
20th and 27th are off. The 4th probably still on, but no Keothi.
Yeah.
Fourth is also
11.
Endwalker early release.
Ooh, woo.
And that.
And I really want to play early.
I'm really upset about the fact that they're
So
not.
do we maybe want to skip the 4th then for Endwalker?
I won't force it.
Up to you guys. I would rather continue playing, but that's just me.
Because there was more dates in December that we weren't doing, right? Because I
Yeah,
remember
that's why. The 18th and the 25th we won't be playing. Obviously, the 25th we're not going to be playing.
And and I don't know about the 1st for myself. That's also New Year's Day, so I don't know how everyone's gonna.
New Year's Day, I
New
think we
Year's
can
Day is a
safely assume we're not
write-off.
playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, I would rather play the 4th because we're gonna have so many days off to come afterwards.
yeah.
And you know me, I don't like going too many weeks in a row without D&D. But
And
yeah,
that would be a whole month off as well, pretty much.
pretty much.
Almost.
Yeah, and then I can't guarantee that I can't guarantee if I'm gonna be there the next week anyway, because I'm trying to move, and I don't have a date on when that's gonna happen. But that's fine.
So
So
still
the
semi
next-
up in
yeah.
the air.
Is this you're videoing still, right?
Yeah.
We're establishing
Perfect.
this all on
We're,
video.
yeah.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. We're recording all of this.
Well, I
Here's
can
our
cut it
plan.
out, but it's good. It's good for
Yeah.
whoever watches to know as well, just so. If
Yes,
there's like
that-
a
that was my
month-long
thought
hiatus,
process.
then
Also, for the sake of curiosity, the 10,000 gold pieces, or even just 10,000 gold pieces is 200 pounds. Just so you're aware.
We also
Sorry.
talked about we would have to leave behind some gold or some money just for the sake of carrying cost.
or
Kenneth
Use
is
my bag
quickly
of
debating the
holding.
idea of investing the gold so that they don't have so much like physical gold and
Yeah,
instead has like deeds to it instead. Because it just doesn't make sense to keep it all in the house the way it is.
is there such thing as a bank?
Not technically. That's why he's talking about like investments.
Why don't we come up with the idea of a bank?
Because you do not have the clout to defend yourselves from people trying to rob your bank.
We have a god.
How much can the bag? I mean, we have a bag of holding now too.
Bag of holding has a maximum capacity of what, 500 pounds?
I was thinking as well. The bag of holding's good, but even carrying around massive amounts of money in it, if it goes missing, it's gone.
Or if the bag of holding is destroyed from the outside, everything's spilled into the astral plane.
It rains money.
Some fucking astral leviathan swimming through the astral sea, and suddenly gold just starts raining on its head. The fuck?
Fucking hell.
Question. Just for my own sanity, so I could prepare my brain, is this kind of like resource management gonna be like a big part of the game?
No, like I
from
said, you
now
could
on?
leave this a lot more to Kimeth.
Okay.
The legality stuff of it, like you could have established, yeah, this is illegal, but we're okay with it. We'll leave the money, all the other shit to Kimeth.
Okay.
That's why I suggested multiple times that Kimeth could start hiring other people to make up for the costs.
Sounds good. We just
'Cause
had
I
one
don't.
episode of
Yeah, I just
mercenary guild
I don't
tycoon.
know how many more
and we don't have to worry
brain
about it anymore.
I was gonna say, we'll just make Kimeth the manager while we're gone, and then he can just
Keothi and Revy just want to play instruments.
yeah, he'll just send us the profit margin every month, and that'll be Gucci. We'll start a band every time we visit. We're gonna encourage everyone to have.
No,
more
it sounds like if it can kind of run itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Keothi's stupid.
I only had concern because I've been in a game where that became like a thing, and it was miserable because D&D just became nothing but number crunching, and I hate it.
I don't want to do that either. That's why when you guys started doing it, I was like,
Kim is our new
It genuinely felt like
Daya like immediately goes cross-eyed.
Literally, I was there like, are we gonna start talking?
All right, it's session 32. Here's your W-2s. Everyone do their taxes.
Ah!
Beautiful.
The corporate rate of corporate tax.
I just know some games do like to go deep into the management stuff, and I just wanted to prepare myself.
no. I just wanted you guys to get an idea of the costs of your...
Right. And we just asked the
Mercenary
billion
company.
questions, I get it.
Yes.
That's fair. Oh, God.
We did it.
It is. Okay, I'm gonna
We
end the
did it.
recording. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Dungeons and tax management.
Yes.